I'm trying to do nothing for the very start of my streams because I'm finding that when I archive things on the channel, the videos seem to have the first minute or two cut away. Don't really understand what that's about. Anyhow, I thought I would jump on real quick and just give you guys a quick update. And I do mean quick. This is by no means an official scheduled stream. I haven't streamed in the past few days because I've lost a lot of sleep on the job I'm trying to get done at the moment for a client. And yeah, losing a lot of sleep. Not getting a lot of time to prepare these things and to get tracks in the works and to get things prepared. I do have a project, a folder full of projects I'd like to take folks through in a future stream. Shima suggested to me that we do a stream a week instead of a stream a night, and I think that sounds quite... That's perhaps a more attractive package for me anyway. It's less tearing my hair out. Speaking of hair, I was trying to make myself look bald earlier. There, I've sort of got it. There. Okay. So now, imagine that I don't have my hands in this shot. Imagine that you paint my hands out. That's what I would kind of look like if I was Yul Brynner or Patrick Stewart. So there you go. And then I go back to my data. Kinda. I need to slick my hair back a bit more. So, yeah. I've been deliberating recently. iMac or PC? iMac or PC? I have an iMac 5K. I love the resolution. I love the real estate. I don't love the fact it doesn't have the horsepower in the box to drive it. If you push and pull your navigator around in Ableton, or you grade your footage in Resolve, or you pan around in Photoshop, or you pan around your waveform in Audition, you can feel the computer doesn't quite have the guts to keep up with you. It's a little sluggish, it's a little laggy. You get the sense that whatever graphics card or CPU they've stuck in this overpriced thing does not have the power necessary to drive apps in that resolution. And I don't know, but I feel like when I walk into Apple and I drop $3.5 grand on an iMac, I feel like if I took that money into a Windows PC store, I'd be walking out with a much more powerful, capable computer. Albeit not as sexy a computer. The thing about Apple when you buy an iMac is you're buying sex appeal, you're buying the fashionability. Let's be honest, there's nothing you can buy in the ways of a PC that's nearly as sexy as an iMac. So I go back and forth between Mac and PC quite a lot. I like the sex appeal of El Capitan. The iMac itself is great. But the sluggishness, that mouse lag, it's all just a bit much. It becomes cumbersome after a while. You're using all those buttons inside Ableton, all those buttons in Resolve, in Premiere. You're constantly undershooting and overshooting your targets with that shitty acceleration curve and that 30 millisecond cursor draw time. Yeah, I miss my PC. I'm having PC homesickness. Anyway, I thought I'd just jump on and maybe answer a few questions. I haven't even looked at the comments section just yet. I haven't done any official streams lately because I've just been too busy with work. I've been losing quite a bit of sleep. I spent all night last night and all night the night before getting some work done for my client that I have at the moment, which I hope to be wrapping up soon. What is it today? Oh, Jesus, it's Thursday already. My, how the time flies. Anyhow. Comments we've got in the section. VGM and stuff has joined us again. You guys must be sitting on my channel just like that. Just like 24/7, just waiting for me to stream. Just like a cheetah waiting to pounce. I've got questions already. If you were a stripper, what would your name be? I would call myself Twangersdale McBumph, I think. Or Sweaterina Scrunchy Chasm. Something like that. Lego Laura says, question, why are you so gay? I don't know. I really don't. I was just never born a manly man, I suppose. So, yes, I definitely want to do more streams in future. It's just that I need to prepare myself. I do have a folder on this iMac, this big fat ass iMac that I'm growing to dislike. A little bit less, a little bit more dislike every day. Every time I go back to my Windows PC, it's just like, wow, it's so much more responsive. It's so much faster, it's so much more smooth, it's so much quicker and snappier. My mouse responds to me, it's like, oh my god. It's tough, it is tough. I like the sex appeal of the iMac, I like the all-in-oneness of it. It's just that bloody operating system. It's a bit fat. It's got a fat ass. I don't even know why. It doesn't seem like such a huge operating system. But you used Blackmagic Resolve, you use Audition, you use Ableton, you know, and then you try your games as well on that bloody 5K screen. It's not happening, pal. It's not happening. Not with the hardware that they cram into that overpriced box. I really like it. I like the iMac. I just wish it wasn't so goddamn underpowered for the money. By the way, reformatting your iMac probably wouldn't do jack. No, you're absolutely right. I've thought about that. I've only had the thing for a few months. I mean, what's there to reformat? No, I don't think it'll do shit. So anyway, yes. I think this time next week... Because, look, the last few streams that I've done for you guys over the past few days, nights, whatever, let's call it a week, most of them I've done on my Alienware laptop. It's been snappier, it's been more responsive, the video compression has been less taxing on the CPU. I've been able to turn the priority up a little higher. The problem with the iMac 5K is when you capture your screen or your window, you're capturing a goddamn 5K image, you know, and then it's got to compress that, and then it's got to scale it down to 1080. You can't go into your system preferences and just scale your resolution down, because if you go back into your broadcasting software, it's still massive. So what that tells you is that when you adjust the resolution in your El Capitan preferences, it's actually not changing. It's not changing the resolution of the screen. It's just making the image bigger, which is kind of backwards, really. And I know this because I actually think that's in the hardware. Because if you get Windows running via Boot Camp, the same thing happens. If you get Windows 10 on your iMac 5K, sorry, this track's been playing and playing and playing. Let me load up something else here. I don't have a screen capture thing for you guys just yet. But let's just get something else play. Sorry, I'm waffling on about shit, and I've just realized you guys have been listening to that shit over and over and over for the past God knows how long. I'm very sorry. What's this? There. I was saying, you get Windows 10 on your iMac 5K via Boot Camp, and you set it to 1920 1080. You get the same problem. It's not actually 1920. It still keeps the native resolution of the screen. It just makes everything bigger. Whereas in Windows, on a Windows PC, it changes the actual resolution of the display. So from a streaming point of view, when you're capturing Windows and you're capturing your screen and then you're compressing that in real time, that's a much better way to go, because 5K capture is just ridiculous. It's unnecessarily taxing on your computer. Anyhow, I'm waffling on. I'm waffling on about tat. Elliot Walmsley asks, is 4K versus 5K actually noticeable? I would say it is, yes. I would say it is, but I wouldn't say it's worth it. I'd be perfectly happy with a 4K screen. I don't see why you need it. Here's one thing though, if you do have a 5K screen, get this, you can edit 4K video in 100% magnification and still have space left over for your interface, for your timeline, for your media browser, etc. So 5K is nice. I don't know if you can buy a 5K screen outside of an Apple iMac though. This is the problem. Maybe there's an Asus out there, maybe there's a BenQ or something like that. My track is on a stuck record. Check this out. Can you hear that? It's a stuck record. For some reason, the loop markers have changed themselves. There you go. You think we would have overcome that problem since the days of vinyl. The issue with iMac and Apple products is how limited you actually are. Yes, exactly. Yet there are these little insights like the MIDI audio app that show you how advanced the OS could be. I agree. You open up Mac you get more of it out of the box. You've got Flash installed. You've got... you don't need to install Java. You know, you don't need to install Visual Basic runtimes, DirectX runtimes. Like you said, the audio MIDI settings in Mac out of the box. Fantastic. Windows doesn't come with any of that. But maybe that's why Windows out of the box, for me at least, seems to be a little bit more responsive, a little bit snappier. And let me tell you, if you're running Windows 10, Windows 8, on a 1 millisecond lag monitor, like a BenQ Asus, you know, 120 hertz, optical mouse, corded mouse, mind you, wow. Wow. The responsiveness of that thing is amazing. You have no idea how that affects your state of mind when you're working in something like Ableton or Photoshop or Premiere or Resolve or FL Studio, sure, where you're pressing and targeting all these little tiny buttons all over the screen every second for hours on end. I find the problem with Mac, because of that shitty cursor driver and because of the time it takes to draw the cursor and that god-awful acceleration curve, it feels like you're pulling an elastic band around all the time. So I don't know. Oh, it's late. I'm just waffling on about crap. I think I see myself putting the iMac on that side of my desk next week and putting my PC on this side. Getting my PC tower back in here. Maybe getting a fractal case or something so it's not so goddamn noisy. Big Iron says, Windows is far more open with a wider spectrum of compatibility. I think so. I think Windows is less of a cul-de-sac. NicoToon says, I'm still waiting on the Pooh Backup 1 to be downloaded so I can make a video from... Oh, yes, that's right. I must have lost your email, mate. It gets lost in my mountains of spam that my spam filter just woefully fails to capture on a daily basis. Nick, do you own a 3D printer? No. I watched a 3D printer in action once at a place here in Australia called Harvey Norman, and it was the slowest thing I've ever seen. It's like watching paint dry. And they wanted like $2,000 for it. Show us the Spirited Away project. Greetings from Berlin, Germany. I wish I could, but I need to find my orchestral libraries because the entire... No, one of my Spirited Away's projects I made with orchestral libraries from Sound West, East West Online or something like that. Why stream at 3 AM? Why steam at 3 AM? That's a better question. Yes, I am steaming a bit. I'm just steaming on about iMac versus PC. This is not an official stream. This is just to give you guys an update, let you know what's going on. I've just been way too tired to do any official streams lately. I'm still getting a list of projects to take you guys through for an official stream. I've had lots of requests for project files to take you guys through, so I am getting there. I'm just very, very busy with work at the moment. So yeah, the reason I'm up at 3 AM is because my whole biological clock is just totally fucked because of all the work I've been doing lately for this client who needs things done at really bizarre times. Jim the Fish TV says, I just got Ableton. Any tips for beginners? I don't know. Not really. Try it. Have fun. Experiment. If you're really falling over with face first, jump on YouTube, look for tutorials. I find there's not a lot... Well, maybe I tell a lie. There is a lot to learn in Ableton. I think it's just that when you get good at something, it feels like there's not so much to learn. I think there's more to learn in FL Studio, to be honest with you. I think Ableton's a little bit more straight up and down. Was it weird remixing your own voice in Get More Into Music? Could we see the project file? Maybe. I'd have to blow some cobwebs off. Maybe I could do it. Yeah, Get More Into Music is a project that I have to cringe every time I listen to it. It wasn't a track, it was like 4 or 5 tracks mushed into this one timeline. And, you know, a song needs to be a song. It needs to have a singer, it needs to have a theme, a character, a genre. They wanted more than that. Clients have a weird habit of throwing as much as they can at a wall and hoping that some of it sticks, and of course none of it does because people don't know where to hang their hats. Do you still have the project file from Freedom that was in 2003 3, 2005. Christ, I don't know. I probably do. And I could probably revive it, get the defibrillators on it. Maybe. I'd have to find all the sample files for it. Thanks for responding, by the way. That's fine, my pleasure. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to answer questions and indulge in my own narcissism. How do you find decent samples? Asks Emperor Skittles. Oh, Skittles are so good. That shit's delicious. How do I find samples? I open a movie and I look for them. Hate to ask, but whatever happened to The Breeze production house? That thing fell face first in the mud, didn't it? Or it took a shit and then it sat in it. One of those analogies. The problem... I think the second analogy is probably the best, because we had 2 investors who said they had money, and then they didn't. They kept stalling and stalling. I was there for 6 months in Manila, and literally nothing happened. It was 6 months of, yep, we're going to get around to it, yep, we're going to get around to it. And I left saying, you never got around to it, nothing ever happened. You know, you need investors to make these things happen. They had a school in construction, which they were going to assign several rooms to the studio. We were going to record bands in Philippines. We were going to record singers. But I'll be honest with you, most of it was just the ideas of my manager at the time, who seemed, you know, he was this much older guy. He was in his 60s, and he said, yeah, Philippines is the place to do it. You know, not America, not Australia, not Los Angeles, right? Manila, in the Philippines, in the middle of a third world country, in a gutter. And eventually I just thought, you know what, this is fucked. This isn't going anywhere. What is this about? This has got nothing to do with Pogo. And frankly, I disagree with you. I think this needs to be in LA. Of course, I can't get to LA, so that was the end of those dreams. Will you put any of your new YouTube tracks on SoundCloud? If Smooth Cream... Smooth Cream or Bite-Sized Candies. I suppose I could. Is there any point? Why don't people just go to look at it on YouTube? I'd like to think most people who are aware of my YouTube are aware of my SoundCloud and vice versa. Or so I would hope. I try to keep the two things linked together. Let's change the background track here for a second, because this is getting quite old. Ah, okay. I know what I'll do. I'll play... the Green Sleeves thing that I put up recently on SoundCloud, that In My Chair Milky Mix, which was a Secret Garden track I made years ago, and now I've gone back and kind of remastered it. I don't have a screen capture for you guys, because I'm finding that when this thing captures the iMac 5K display, it's capturing it in 5K, which means when it scales it all the way down to 1080 HD, it looks like shit. It's pixelated, it's blurred, you can't read the text. And you're wasting resources capturing a 5K screen. It's just... I don't know what's going on. I can't get it to capture in 1080 HD. I can't change the screen size of the iMac to 1080 HD. So I'm finding that from a yeah, and of course the OBS software for Mac doesn't recognize my audio interface, so I'm actually running my microphone through a Native Instruments Audio Control 1 at the moment. You know, there's a few caveats to Mac. It's sexy, but it's not perfect. Did you grow up playing any musical instruments, and if so, do you think that has influenced the music you created now? What the fuck was that? Oh, we're still streaming music here. Yes, slightly. I grew up in Invercargill, New Zealand, South Island of New Zealand, Hobbitland, the very bottom tip of Hobbitland. And I had a German music teacher teaching me how to use MIDI keyboards and how to use Yamaha keyboards along with software like Cakewalk. And that's where I learned how to do, I suppose, MIDI composing. Using Sound Blaster sound cards and, you know, all the old MIDI instrument libraries. Sound fonts were the name of the game back then. Sound fonts. That's kind of just died out now, really. So, yeah, I was in a band at the age of 10. I was a drummer. We got into the Pepsi Smoke-Free Rock Quest of 1999, South Island of New Zealand. I've got a picture of me on the front page of the newspaper of the New Zealand Times, or something like that, South Island Times, or whatever it was, with my friends. And that could well have been the best time of my life. Yeah, because I had the most friends back then. I was an extrovert. When I moved to Australia, for some reason, I became an introvert. I became very isolated, very solitary. So, yeah. I was a drummer when I was 10. Kind of like those kids in that School of Rock movie with Jack Black. Sound fonts still exist, just as a running joke on a few YouTube channels. Yeah, that's right. There's a back catalogue for everything, but I think it's definitely left the mainstream. Please use Ableton today. I don't know if I can. It's, to be honest, I'm just jumping on to give you guys a quick update. I don't really want to run through all my project files right now. I'd rather do it in a stream where I've advertised the time and all of that and make sure everyone's here to watch and listen. Kudos for all the streams recently, thank you very much. It's been fun so far, I think. Yes, I think it's... What the hell? Is that daylight? No, it can't be. No. Have you ever experimented with Max by Cycling 74? It would be cool to see a completely generative project cross-pollinated between Ableton and Max. I did play with it. It's fun to make music via a programming language of sorts. And I think the great thing about Max for Live is you can basically modulate literally everything inside Ableton software. You can assign an LFO or a script or a button to any freaking function in Live. It is incredibly powerful. But when I'm making music, I'm making music. You know, I don't really want to be putting this machine together. It's a totally different mindset that I need to put myself into. What else have I got here? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find something to play in the background so that it's not just me waffling on about tat. What folder is this? Hang on a second. Yeah, I've been working on a project file for the Gap clothing recently. You guys know the Gap clothing company. They're very, very happy with the latest draft I just sent them, so that's great. That's great. Project files. I don't know what I'm doing. Ableton projects. I hate doing stuff on the spot when I'm streaming. Nah, forget it. Fuck it. Oh, my keyboard's not working now. I've got this crappy wireless Apple keyboard shit where every key feels exactly the same. So unless you look at it, you don't actually know what you're about to type. I love to hear the waffles. The waffles. I like to eat waffles. I don't know if I love to listen to them so much, but eating them is fantastic. We have a waffle house here in Australia called Gelare, which is fantastic. Gelare. Yes. The Americans miss you, if you say so. I don't know. They kicked me out. I mean, can that mean they miss me? I don't know. If you're getting spam mail on sending by email, see if you can send the poo track to Google Drive. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Any chance that you'll get some form of moderators? Spam doesn't actually show up, but when it does show up, it's bad. Yes, it is bad, isn't it? It is a bit shit. Spam is just a problem I can't seem to get rid of, whether I'm using a mail client on my smartphone or I'm using Mail for Mac, or I'm using the mail thing on my the spam thing on my mail server. It all just sucks. I get like 100 spam emails a day. It's shocking. Maybe I should just convert to Gmail or something like that. Just wanted to say that I love your new version of In My Chair, even if the first one was amazing. Why did you change it? Just by curiosity. The mastering of the first one was shocking. The bass was much too big, much too bassy. The vocals were much too distorted. The chords were much too bumpy in the mid-range. It needed a lot of tidying. It needed a lot of cleaning. And when you make a track that you really like and you're really proud of, then you go back and listen to it, and you find out that people can't hear it as well as you'd like them to be able to hear it, you know, you want to remaster it. And so I think it's something that I might end up putting on my next album or something like that. Finally made it to one of your live streams, even though I'm late. Yeah, not really an official live stream. It's just me, I don't know, answering questions and stuff. I am preparing to show you guys some more project files in the near future. I'm actually very happy with how the previous stream to this one turned out, where I was on my Alienware laptop and I had the power and the horsepower I needed to really do what I needed to do. The iMac, I find, doesn't quite have that. So I'd love to, yeah, I'm actually quite tempted to just move everything, all my project files and stuff, back to my PC for like the 5th time in the past 2 years. Do you have any EDM tracks? EDM. Does Cosgrove count as an EDM track? I don't know. Do you only do remixes if you get paid or an agreement? Hang on. Do you only do remixes if you get paid to do an agreement with the company? No. Well, it's kind of replacing the passion project thing. I've definitely found myself making less passion projects lately and doing more work. It's kind of weird when you turn a passion into a day job, you know, when it's paying your rent and it's paying your bills. You get a different set of motives that come into play there. And I think you do kind of find yourself a little torn between those sets of motives. Yeah, so it becomes kind of a challenge. How did you come about designing the Space Bunny? Well, it's actually kind of the creation of my first girlfriend. I said to her, I want you to design a few things for me when I go to work today. I came back and she had this drawing of this bunny with these like multicolored eyelids and these multicolored ears, and so I put them onto my blog. And then I get this this tweet or this Facebook post or this reply, this comment by Tim Armstrong, who was a graphic designer in San Francisco, who I think has now moved to LA. And he had turned this design that my girlfriend did into this really awesome graphic. But the thing is, it wasn't just a space bunny. It was actually if you look at it, it's actually the bunny and the eye, the nose with the sheen on it, and the eyes of Mickey Mouse. And that was very fitting because the first few Pogo projects that came out were remixes of Disney films. So I thought that was quite cool. I've been using it ever since. I don't really have any plans to change it, really. Maybe just modernize it, update it a little bit. But I really love the whole Space Bunny thing. I love what he's done with it. I think it's great. Seeing a return to the style of what was in 2008, what is perception of techno, progressive house, your style of sampling, and what are means of inspiration behind your music? I don't know. I've just kind of become sick of the whole random vocals thing. I prefer to do things that are more flowing now. I'm more interested in not lyrics, but perhaps things that sound like lyrics. You know, if you listen to the No Worries track, I think that's a good example of what I'm more interested in doing nowadays. I've done the random choppy sporadic vocals thing. I've bought the t-shirt. I've been there, done that. I like it's too easy for me now. It's too predictable. I like to try to make more flowing vocals, and so what I'm doing with my Skyrim Symphony project is going back to the game, resampling vocals that are, you know, longer samples where the characters are actually saying things that I can maybe piece together into some lyrics after some tuning, obviously. I'm more interested in that now. Do you still do some After Effects work? I remember the bouncy Space Bunny before some of your videos being pretty tight. Thanks. I don't do After Effects much more anymore, no. I usually use Resolve to grade footage in now. And I think if I was going to go back and do compositing, I'd probably start learning Nuke. I think Nuke looks pretty amazing. Instead of everything being tucked away into secret layers and menus like you have in After Effects, Nuke puts everything out there for you on a big-ass flowchart. And I think that's just awesome. I have no idea how to use it yet, but it looks great. Have you ever heard of Dynamo? Of course I have. Dynamo's a good friend of mine. He helped me with my tour in September 2011. And we're actually talking at the moment about maybe doing Japan, because I have to go play a show in Japan this year, September. And that's going to be fun. And me and Dynamo, Dusty, are thinking about doing a world remix of Japan, but the real Japan, not the Tokyo side of Japan. Getting into their whole Shinto culture over there and remixing that and finding all the sounds of them making samurai swords and the gowns and things, you know, finding all the sounds associated with real ancient Japanese culture, I think would be quite awesome. You know, rent a Sony FS7 or a C300 Mark II and just film it really nicely, and I think that's going to be really fun. So we'll see if it progresses. I'd love it if it progresses, but I don't want to make any hype out of it just yet. It might not happen. and I'm gonna keep it a passion project. One of the problems I had in getting Kadinchi, the remix of Bhutan, crowdfunded, is that before I even had a chance to touch my sounds and my videos when I got back to Australia, is I had thousands of people tapping their watches. Thousands of people who had funded it, who I was kind of indebted to in a sense. And so it had gone from being an inspiration to an obligation. That was the problem I had in crowdfunding the World Remix project. So in future, I would like very much to keep it a passion project. I actually don't even want to mention these things until they're done, because I find that the moment I speak about a project before I even start it, it becomes the property of everyone else's imagination, almost more so than my own. Have you thought of doing a Seinfeld remix? I started doing a Seinfeld remix. I actually got as far as season 2, sampling all the sound effects, like Kramer banging into the door, Kramer's crazy noise effects, Newman's noise sound effects. Yeah, I think there's a lot to work with there. But I don't know. There's just too many projects on my plate. Way too many projects. Have you thought about creating a Patreon page? No, I can't stand the idea of someone sending me money for nothing. I can't stand that idea. I think that's ridiculous. No, I make music and videos for myself, and that's when I make my best work, is when I'm doing it for myself. I don't think it's narcissism, I don't think it's selfishness, I just think I think it just naturally follows that when you're making music that pleases you, that's when you're most likely to perfect it. And that's when you're most likely to really take it all the way to the finish line. You know, I don't take requests because, not because I'm a ponce, which I am, but the reason I don't take requests is just because I can't be fucked, to be honest. I can't be bothered making something that someone else wants me to do, but I don't really want to do. Why would I do that? I know it's not going to turn out as good as it could if it was a passion project, so why would I bother? It would have to be a purely marketing exercise. It would have to be an exercise in getting more views, getting more subscribers. I don't know. Look, I could go crazy with it. I could turn Pogo into a purely request a mash, request a remix channel. Do one a week, you know, but it would be half-assed because I wouldn't be I wouldn't be nearly as enthused about them as I would if they were purely the property of my own passion and my own enthusiasm. So yeah, it just doesn't work. I'm not a slot machine, you know what I mean? I think with me, yeah, I can't go down the whole slot machine route. Hey Pogo says Vintage Bohemian 21. Hey, thanks for tuning in. There's also the thing where talking about doing a project can give you a little nugget of the satisfaction from it. So keeping your goals to yourself is better for getting them done in some cases. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I have always found it is so much better to, I don't know, I regret in some ways turning Pogo into the public eye. I really do. I regret it to some extent. I've forgotten what it's like to make music entirely for yourself and entirely for your own satisfaction, your own eyes, your own ears. I've almost forgotten what that feels like, being that 12-year-old kid playing Music 2000 on PlayStation, recording my songs to tape and just listening to them, and no one would ever hear them. It is a very liberating experience. It's very liberating. You're making music for no other reason but to express yourself for yourself and to explore your own potential and to explore your own emotions. You know, you get a YouTube channel, you get a subscriber base going. Those motives start to change. You start getting feedback by the mountainful. And you start finding yourself with other reasons to make music. You know, oh, I've got a subscriber base going here. I've got to get more of those subscribers now. I'm getting work through the door. I haven't uploaded anything in a while. This is a bit like the thing I uploaded yesterday. You know, it changes a bit. It changes a bit. When you're making music purely for yourself, you don't give a shit about, does it sound like what you did before? Will this please my subscriber base? How long has it been since I've done this? When I disabled comments on my SoundCloud and my YouTube, I pretty much knocked out a whole album's worth of material, which became Kindred Shadow. And when I put comments back on and thumbs up backs on, yeah, my productivity just went down the toilet. I don't know how to explain it. Is it a placebo? Is it real? Don't know. But it does change you. I think it changes you as an artist, having a little bit of publicity. I don't know how Justin Bieber copes. I really don't. Not comparing myself to Justin Bieber, of course, but yeah. Look, let me say, if I got to that level of exposure, I would need someone to be making my tracks for me. There's no way I could keep up with the demand. No way in hell. I honestly want to collaborate with you on a project. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not a huge I'm not a huge collaborator. I'm actually kind of an introvert. It's, yeah, I don't know. The more I think about that, the more I ask myself the question, why am I live streaming? Are there any projects where you weren't very motivated working on, but you ended up enjoying the end product? No. No, definitely not. My best work has been work where I've thoroughly enjoyed making it. And when the inspiration, you know, it's kind of like being in a relationship with this amazing woman, this amazing girl. You know, you end up having conversations with her for hours and hours and hours, and it just goes. It carries itself to an amazing height. That's kind of how it is with making music as well. You make a little riff, and then you go, fuck, that sounds great, let's take it. And then you get an idea to make another riff, and that becomes almost a structure. The Hubbaba Kanda track, which was the remix of Robert Tilton, made itself. I knocked that thing out in 3 days. I didn't even have to think about it. It just did it because I was so inspired by the guy's crazy antics and his energy. You know, I'm not a religious person in the slightest. But Robert Tilton, I find him so incredibly entertaining. So that project made itself. I didn't even have to think about it. And yeah, I was really, really happy with it. Looking back on it now, there's things I would change about it. But yeah, that is a perfect example of a project that makes itself through natural inspiration, not, you know, sitting down and forcing yourself. I wish I could sit down and force something out. I really wish I could. But it just doesn't work that way for me, unfortunately. Are you still working with that kid? I think his name was John Shan. No. John Shan I haven't spoken to in a long time. I haven't been in contact with his mother or my manager, who at the time was dating his mother. Yeah, that was an interesting state of affairs. But he had an amazing voice. He's probably going through puberty at the moment. He's probably losing a bit of that voice. I hope not. But anyway, no worries was great. I think the Vision track and the My Angel track were just failures. I think they were disasters. They were just failed experiments. How honestly was my remix? What? How honestly was my remix of your content Pogo Archaeology? Like, what did I do with it? I thought it was good. You sent it to me on Skype. Yeah, I thought it was quite good. I like the fact that you went more into the realms of producing things instead of just mashing extended tracks together. I thought it was good. I think it's really good to see you getting into that, Gestro. Absolutely. And I think it's a really good start. I'd like to see more of that from you because I think it's you're kind of almost getting to a point where I can't even recognize my own work, and I think that's pretty good. That means that you're definitely taking things up to into your own realm. At least when you make music that goes out to the world, you get to emotionally connect with so many people. Your music has made a big impact on my life, says Albert Savage. Yeah, that's a plus, I guess. I don't know. I think I do underestimate that to some point. I've gotten used to it over the years. I maybe do take it for granted. But I will say, I mean, when I had comments and feedback and social media disabled, that is when I felt the most creatively liberated. That's when I felt like I could really... Because it's like... I don't know. You know, when you release music on YouTube or SoundCloud, there's a voice that comes back. There's a response. There's comments, there's thumbs up, there's shares, there's likes, there's thumbs down, there's critique. When you just send your work out, nothing comes back. It's bizarrely more liberating. It's like I kind of want to keep making more of that because there's no there's no repercussions in a sense. There's no you don't know what the reciprocity is. The mystery of what that reciprocity is kind of what keeps you going in a weird way. Just throwing stuff out into the universe and knowing that someone out there is liking it, but you don't know who or how many, and you never will. I think that's kind of a really awesome way to go. But then I thought to myself, well, you know, I've got a following here. I've got subscribers. I've got a brand going. I want to keep getting work. I want to let people know that I appreciate the feedback that I get. I guess I kind of have to interact with them on just to some level. So I don't know. It's early hours of the morning. I'm going into the abyss of philosophy and thought. How is my other content as well? I've only just started EQing things, so I know currently it's kind of bad, but how is it to you? I think you need to get into EQing, yeah. And you want to pay a lot of attention to your bottom end. I would say 80% of the samples I end up using have either way too much bass or way too much mid bass, and that's where things get muddy. I think the muddiness of your mix is the most problematic aspect of it. Things can clash in the treble range, that's okay. And so long as your mid-range, you know, your chords and your vocals are in tune, I think you've got less to worry about there as well. But when you're talking about the bass and you're talking about the mid-bass, you know, the mid-range, things really clash. I find that that's the area of the spectrum where your speakers have the most trouble acoustically in a room. You know, that's where the walls and the corners of your room really seem to fuck your sound up the most, is in the bass and in the mid-range. In fact, I've found that ever since I put these KRK speakers into this room after I moved recently, I've found that a lot of my old mixes suffer quite badly from bass issues and mid-bass issues. You know, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. You need to listen to it and you need to go through it. How did you get into graphic design and how would one go with that? Well, Jesus, yeah, that's not a time of my life I miss, I've got to say. I just took my portfolio into all sorts of different agencies and companies and, you know, being 16 at the time, I wasn't very good. But I got a job eventually in East Perth here in West Australia. I enjoyed it for a while. I ended up doing a lot of filmmaking and videography work. I loved shooting interviews of people and making these short documentaries about artists in Perth and the work that they do, and shooting it all really nice and answering and getting them to say all sorts of interesting things about their work. I really enjoyed that. In fact, I often wondered, like, how could I hybridize the whole Pogo thing with a documentary narrative kind of medium? Yeah, it's an idea that never really went anywhere. Can we get a look at Prop My Sky, says Laura Lang 83. Yeah, I've got that on my list of things to stream on an official stream in future. Need to reiterate to people who have just joined, this is not an official stream. This is just to let you guys know what's going on. This is just one of those chillax, max and relax sessions. Not my best, not my favorite way to go about things. I prefer to do things that are scheduled. I prefer to have Ableton ready, project files ready, better streaming quality, all of that. This is just a, you know, this is just a fuck around session. Do you have plans to come to Europe again? Not just at the moment, no. I've been to Paris twice, and what did I enjoy it? I don't know. I enjoyed Disneyland. Disneyland was fun. Euro Disney. It's quite emotional going back through your childhood in a literal sense. It's quite emotional. You get quite hocked up by the end of the day. I'll tell you what. Hocked up, choked up, choked up. There it is. Yeah, they bring those fireworks out and all those theme songs that are playing literally everywhere you go. You have no idea where the music's coming from. And all the characters are jumping out at you. You feel like you're, you feel like you're 6 or 7 years old again. You get a little choked up. You really do. You realize you're not a kid anymore. It's a shitty feeling. I hope you're doing okay. Sorry if this was already asked. This is my first time on your live streams, says Sai Mesirim. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. But what audio software did you use when you were first starting out? I used what was called back then Fruity Loops, which is now thankfully better known as FL Studio from ImageLine software. And I used an audio editor called Cool Edit Pro by Centrillium Software, which of course is now Audition by Adobe. And I actually think Adobe's only improved it. I think they've only made it better. There was a period where they took out a whole bunch of great features, but they've since brought them all back. And Audition, I think, is now better than Cool Edit Pro ever was. I think it's great. I think Adobe has done really great things. And if you're doing audio editing, maybe even some multi-track stuff, I think Audition's the way to go. If you're looking to spend some money, if you don't want to get something free like Audacity, which is still good, but Audition for me, it's been the brains of my whole sound editing operation for years. I have no plans of changing it either. Are you into any TV shows currently? I was watching Orange is the New Black for a while, the first season. I enjoyed the first season. I didn't much so like the second season because I think what gripped me so much in the first season was the fact that the main character was experiencing being in jail with these crazy ladies for the first time. And that was interesting, watching her change as a character. Season 2, she's more acclimatized. Everything has become the norm. For me personally, it's a little less captivating. I found the final season of Game of Thrones. I didn't even know there was a final season. I thought it ended at the last season I saw it. So I watched that. That was great. Brilliant filmmaking. Just amazing storytelling. Breaking Bad. Wow. 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 Amazing. Yeah. Netflix is full of stuff. I'm actually just watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air again, which has just come to Netflix in Australia. Have you had a lot of problems with copyrights for songs and samples? No, not at all. I was only taken down once by Sony Pictures for the Bangarang thing, which was a remix of the Spielberg film Hook. But I filed a counter notice on YouTube and it was pulled right back up the next day. I look you for a Game of Thrones fan, Nick, says Tom Partington. I am a fan of Game of Thrones, yes. I still need to finish watching that series. Amazing, amazing work. I believe they shot that series on an Arri Alexa, which in Australia retailed for 70 or 80 grand or something. I mean, doesn't a film camera cost less? Maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't it look nicer as well? Anyway. Nick is kill, says Fuller Mac. Am I? I don't know. I hope not. Best reverb for Ableton would have to be, I think, the Valhalla series. You can get a Valhalla unit for $50. You can pay $1,000 and get the official Lexicon reverb series from Lexicon themselves, which is very, very nice, very, very tasty, but it will cost you a lot of money. And to be honest, I don't think it's a massive improvement over the Valhalla plugins. Yes, what are these big black boxes on the walls behind you? They're actually foam pads from a company called Sound Acoustics in East Australia. And the chrome columns underneath them, which are holding them up, because I don't want to drill holes in my cupboard doors and walls, are from a company called Prime Acoustics, I think in the United States. They're just there to absorb sound and stop the hard surfaces of the walls and doors from reflecting the sound and making it echoey and shitty in here. When do you go to bed usually? Usually 11:30 or 12 if I can help it. But lately, because of all the work I've been doing and all the sleep I've been losing over my work, I haven't been streaming and I haven't been sleeping. Do you still have Dot's vinyl gone bad? Yes, I do. That should work inside FL Studio actually, because I still have all those very old samples from Dot and Santa Claus. Are you going to do either a Breaking Bad remix or a Walking Dead remix? Walking Dead, probably not. Breaking Bad, I started sampling. Breaking Bad is amazing because the way that they've mixed the film in surround sound is they've got all the sound effects on the center channel and all the music on the surround channel, but it's literally just 100% isolated. Usually there's a little bit of bleed, and you still have to get rid of some music from the background. Excuse me. But in the case of Breaking Bad, it is 100% isolated. It is a dream to sample and a dream to work with. So Breaking Bad is definitely on my list. It's just like I was saying, I want to get past that whole random choppy vocal thing, and I want to get some fluent vocals that almost kind of mean something happening. A little more challenging, but I think a little more rewarding. What music have you been listening to lately? Fuck. I haven't had time. Mostly just drum and bass, really. New Tone's drum and bass is great. Millie's theme is a great track. I love it. A lot of soul stuff on... I was listening to Crazy by the Manhattans on Spotify. It's an old post-disco track. I do not keep up with the times these days. I'm more interested in making music, I suppose, and listening to it. And even more interested in playing games and watching Netflix than making music. So there you go. There's my priorities straightened out. Have you ever given thought to running a podcast? If so, would it be more focused on production, technical things, or a more general relaxed vibe? I don't know. I'm open to ideas. What do people want to hear in the ways of a podcast? I'd want to do interviews. I'd want to interview Sky. I'd want to interview... Well, I was speaking to Stephen Crowder via email the other day, who wanted some of my tracks for his podcast. So maybe it would be good to have an interview with him. Yeah. Have you ever given Fortet a listen? I have not. Sorry. What else do you enjoy to do besides music, photography, filming, gaming? Sit on my ass. Sit on my ass and eat Doritos and make carbonara and make burgers. I'm getting into cooking, actually. I never thought I'd get into cooking. But I made the most incredible carbonara last night. Oh my God, it was fantastic. I don't even need to go out to restaurants anymore. I never realized carbonara is such a quick, piss-easy meal to make. Wow. I just wanted to know, are you aware of how scary you look in The Wizard of Mer? I guess so, yeah. I want to do that for my Data and Picard video, except in color. And I want to green screen myself onto the Starship Enterprise from Next Generation. That's what I want Data and Picard to be, like a Star Trek version of Wizard of Mer. Maybe just more with some mid-shot stuff, like waist up for a change. And of course, you know, made up to be Commander Data and Captain Picard. That'd be fun. I need to get onto that. I'm just having it's so hard when my sleep patterns are fucked and I got work to do. But I need to do it. I really need to do it. It's just one of those things I keep fucking stalling on. I would absolutely love a TNG remix. Yep, there is one on SoundCloud called Data and Picard. Go check it out. That is basically the voices of Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner. Battleborn or Overwatch? I need your guys' opinion on this because I've been watching reviews on Battleborn and Overwatch, and I'm not a huge multiplayer shooter fan. I just spend... It seems like every minute I spend in something like TF2, I just get angrier and angrier and angrier because I just get my ass progressively more and more kicked as the time goes on. You know, it's just, yeah, I'm more of a Skyrim Fallout 4 player where the competition is not so difficult when it is a little bit more based on an adventure and a second life. I love the whole concept of having a second life in a video game. That's why I loved Skyrim, I love Fallout 4. Red Dead Redemption was even similar. It wasn't quite as character building oriented as Skyrim, but still, you really felt like you were this cowboy in the West. Oh my God, what a game. You could say the same thing about GTA 5, I suppose, to some extent. I've played Battleborn and I think Overwatch is better. Right, okay. Are you working on a Rollet and Gromit remix? No, I'm not. No, you took a stab in the dark there, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Potential Fallout 4 rendition in the works. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, if people don't steal my thunder. Overwatch is boring and Battlewatch is worth it. Don't play... He doesn't play either of them. Okay. There's a game called Second Life. Have you played it? Yeah, I've heard about it. But that's not the Second Life I mean. That's like a social media thing to my understanding. No, I mean like a lose yourself for 300, 400 hours kind of game, Second Life kind of game. You know, like Skyrim. I think Fallout 4 is up there. Yeah, where you know, where you're building... I have to say, I prefer the skill building in Skyrim. Because everything you do in Skyrim contributes to your overall experience progress. In Fallout 4, you only really get XP from, I think, killing. Like, in Skyrim, you know, you take damage in light armor, then you get XP globally and in your light armor tree. You take damage in heavy armor, same thing. You do damage with an axe. You do damage with a sword. You do damage with a bow. It's like a model of life, right? Everything you do goes towards your overall experience and your experience in that field. I really loved that idea. That's why I think I felt Skyrim was such a Second Life experience, because it was so close to Second Life in the way that you gain experience points and you build up as a character. And the replay value, oh my god, the replay value in Skyrim is shockingly good. I was playing Uncharted 4 the other night. Technically, an incredible game. Not to give away any spoilers, but there's a scene where you're in the Jeep with, what was his name? I can't remember his name. Not Sam, the other guy. And it's a Jeep chase. And you go across what feels like miles and miles and miles of open world, well, not open world, but massive, massive countryside. And then you're jumping onto other trucks, and then you're getting carried, you're getting dragged through mud. And you look at your watch, and this thing's been going on for 10 friggin' minutes, and it looks incredible, it plays incredibly, and you're wondering, how the hell is this game loading all this stuff on the fly? And I have to say, I think technically Uncharted 4 is maybe the most technically impressive thing I've ever played. I just wish there was better replay value. I wish I could replay it and have a different experience. I wish I could take a different route at this point. I wish I could build up my own character. Half-Life 2 was also kind of on rails, but because you are Gordon Freeman, and because you see everything and do everything through his eyes, it kind of almost feels like a Skyrim experience, Half-Life 2, you know, just without the skill-building tree. I want to see an Uncharted that's open world. That's what I want to see. I realize I'd have to take resources away from the story and contribute them to the open world stuff, but let's be honest. I mean, you look at this stuff in Uncharted 4, you look at the worlds, you look at the characters, you look at the graphics, the sound, the lighting, it's like, oh my god, I want to explore it, I just want to get into it. But instead, you're kind of stuck in this train and you're watching it all kind of go past you. So, yeah, I don't know. I think technically 10 out of 10 from me. Game-wise, to be honest, I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult. I'm not addicted to it. Let me say that. I'm not addicted to Uncharted 4. I'm addicted to Skyrim. I'm addicted to Diablo 3. I'm addicted to Fallout 4. I'm not addicted to Uncharted 4. That's the best way I can say it. Nick, favorite mod for Skyrim? I think the E&B series, because it injects indirect illumination, which basically means light can bounce from one surface to another, to another, to another, and it looks amazing. It looks incredible. It looks almost lifelike if it weren't for the shitty textures and the low-res models and all that. So the E&B series, which I think you can now actually get for GTA 5, if I'm not mistaken. Have you played many games on Steam? Yeah, I have. I'd have to go through my Steam library. There's such a long list in there. I tried, I tried Distance. Distance was pretty awesome. That's if you're into your arcade racing and stuff, that's just a super, super fun game. It's a racing game, but you can fly and you can jump and you can turbo and you can go around loops and stuff. Oh, it's so great. Distance is awesome. What's your PC specs? Oh, they're getting a bit behind now. I think I had a 3.8 i7 processor. I think I had 16 gigs of RAM and a GTX 970 graphics card. But I think NVIDIA's coming out with a GTX 1080, which is looking very sexy indeed. They were raving on and on about half the price, twice the performance. I think that's bullshit. I think it's more like same price, maybe a quarter extra performance. But yeah, I definitely want it. I definitely want to get my, like I was saying at the start of my stream, I want to go back to my PC. Maybe just use my iMac for things where I actually need Mac and I can't get away with PC. Anyway, we're talking nerdy shit now. Slightly uninteresting shit. What do you use to take the vocals out from movies? I use, I use my audio editor, Adobe Audition, and I will rip the files from the DVD or the Blu-ray using any DVD, SliceSoft any DVD, which also removes the region of the disc, which is very, very nice. And then I will open those video files inside of Virtual Dub, and I'll edit the clips out. That's for video, sorry. And then for Media Player Classic is what I use to play the video files in the surround, but then I'll isolate the surround channel so that I can record vocals separately from music, etc. Nick, are you still using an Akai with Ableton for your live performances? No, I've actually gone more over to the Machina Mark II. I bought a Machina Mark II thinking I was going to replace FL Studio and replace Ableton, and I was so very wrong. Making a track on 16 pads and faders and knobs is actually really hard and takes a really long time. You know, you go back to your mouse and keyboard and you can make, like in the time it takes you to make a track on a hardware controller, you can make like 4 with a mouse and keyboard. You know, it is just crazy. I wish they could sort it out. Do you ever go traveling for fun and not just work? I always see Australians when I go backpacking. Oh yeah, that's probably true. No, I don't go traveling for fun. I was going to go to Italy. I mentioned this in a previous stream. I was going to go to Italy to film my brother's wedding at the start of July, but plane ticket's going to cost me $4,500. And there's like 30 hours of flying, 25 hours of flying, best case scenario. 6-hour layover in Dubai, 3-4 flights. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get ill. I'm going to be massively out of pocket. What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to shoot his registration, his little ceremony here in Perth. Yeah, look, I think if I was planning Italy, it wouldn't cost me so much money. You know how when you book flights in advance, it costs you less money? Yeah, I don't know. I want to save that money for Japan and other things, holidays and things. That is just too expensive for me. That's crazy. Oh, greetings from Brazil, says I Marcelo. You should set up Jacked with, what? Jacked with Carla on your laptop. Basically Soundflower but on Windows. Carla. C-A-R-L-A. I've heard about Jacked. Sounds like a TV show. Jacked and Carla for Windows. I need to get onto that shit. A lot of audio interfaces actually have a loopback function. So you can actually just get the sound card to route the audio back through one of its input channels, which is super, super handy. Not many do this. I think the RME does this. I think one of the Focusrites do this. Very, very handy. Otherwise, you have to literally get cables from the output ports into the input ports. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. You end up with all these cables on your desktop. When you started, how did you start getting popular? I don't know. Did I ever get popular? I certainly got a few views, I suppose. I got a bit of a following through Alice, the Alice in Wonderland remix. There's just, for some reason, it's like the most basic thing I've ever made, and it just reaped in a ton of views and a ton of exposure. So I think the whole Disney thing is kind of what did it for Pogo. I think the whole Pogo brand really took off with Disney movies. Yeah. So I don't know. What would my advice be? My advice would be start remixing Disney films. You know, you can't go wrong. You should stream games on Twitch. I guess so. I don't know. I think you have to be a bit of a comedian to be an entertaining Let's Player. I don't call myself a comedian. I'm a guy who makes beats. Bits, you know, blips and bloops on YouTube. I don't know. I think you've got to be a bit of an entertainer to make music, to make a game stream, to make live streams with games. Sorry. Are there any remixes that you've released that you'd like to keep refining? Yeah, all of them. Well, some of them are dead in the water. I think there are some of them. I don't know. If I went back on my YouTube channel, I could probably find things. I wouldn't bother touching Alice because it's been done. It's been the Stalk track of Dumbo. The Dumbo remix, I would very much like to. I did a disco remix of that. Not so happy with that anymore. I actually much prefer the original. So I would love to go back to the original, just remaster it a bit, introduce some more elements maybe, and get a video going for it. It really does go back to my old style, and to be honest, I feel like I've been there and done that and bought the t-shirt. I think I'd be repeating myself a lot in releasing the Stalk track. But like I said, I'd like to go back to it, maybe add some stuff to it, because I liked how it came out. Which live stream did he play Doom? Oh yeah, that was a live thing on this YouTube channel actually. It wasn't so great. I did not archive it. Joshua Kershaw says, "Hey Nick, I hate you and your music." Oh shit. Fucking hell, man. Steady on. No, thanks very much, Josh. Your British accent is entertaining. It is actually, yeah. Josh's British accent is awesome. I love it. He's got a bit of that Cockney thing going on. It's awesome. I loves it. Thoughts on Toy Story 4? Is there a Toy Story 4? Oh god, really? They just keep making those things. Nick, where do you like to see yourself in 10 years? Hopefully in America. Hopefully hanging out with big people in LA. I got an invite to go to one of the VIP sessions in one of what was it, the Emmys or something, and of course I had to get back to them saying, oh, sorry, I can't do it. I'm banned. So that was fun. And then I had Justin Bieber's manager emailing me videos of him listening to No Worries in a Ferrari or something like that. And here I am in little Perth, Australia, thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing here? Look, I'll be honest, I like being in Perth. I've got my own place now. I love being on my own. I'm 10 minutes drive from anything I could ever want. It's just the industry's not in Perth. You know, the industry, at least for Pogo and you guys and all of that, you know, I need to be in the States. How often have you met up with other remixers? Well, I've met up with Josh a few times, who's in the chat, Joshua Kershaw, better known as Jeesh, who just made an awesome Star Wars Force Awakens remix called Starbase Killer. Starbase Killer. Starbase Killer. And I've met up with Dusty, better known as Dynamo, who for some reason has just abandoned social media lately. Don't know what's going on there. He's not big on social media. I can't say I blame him. I've tried Facebook 4 times and I've thrown it down the toilet every single time. I hate it. I just hate it. I hate that whole platform of like, look how awesome my life is. Look how great my life is. You know what I mean? Look how awesome. Look, I got this new apron for my kitchen. It's like, okay. Look, I'm hanging out on the beach. I got a new Speedo. I got new shades. That to me is Facebook. I hate it. I just hate it. It's this forced status symbol of bullshit. This is my life and I'm going to pretend people give a fuck. As a 2D artist, I can relate to the industry being far away. I live in and love Boston, but all the jobs are in LA. Yeah. Look, I think the truth of the matter is when you're doing digital work, you don't need to be anywhere. But when you do start making contacts that are pretty high up in the industry and you're physically banned from entering their friggin' country, it is like, oh God, wow. Like that is how high my career could be right now. This is where it is and where it will be for the next 6 years. Shit. That kind of sucks. I'm bitching. I'm getting a moan on. Have you seen the TV show Mr. Robot? No, I haven't. I have not. I think I saw a movie called Mr. Robot, or was that Robots or something years ago? Do you know any remixes that are good at making and tuning their remixes live? Well, the Madion comes to mind. He did that amazing pop culture remix thing years ago. Madion comes to mind, yeah. I guess, does Skrillex count? Maybe not. We've still got people who don't know why I'm banned. Wow. Wow, yeah, okay. I've just got to make a video that says why I'm banned. Actually, I did a while ago, and then I had a bunch of lawyers tell me it wasn't a good idea. I'm banned because I toured the States for a month, playing 20-odd shows, and the conversation with my 2 management companies never seemed to arise about what kind of visa I needed. So there I was making a bunch of cash with a visa waiver, it turned out. So, you know, I take some responsibility for it. I feel like my managers, being American agencies, managing my tour and my act, might have said to me, hey, Nick, you're making money in the States. You need a work visa. Have you got this BQQ64325TT1ZX visa? That never happened, unfortunately. But I have to also say that I think being the person whose shoulders the consequences were ultimately falling on, I might have jumped on Google for half an hour and just maybe did a quick search about, you know, DJing in the States. I mean, I feel like, you know, I think being as young as I was at the time, I was definitely a bit naive. I trusted my agents a bit too much. God knows, I gotta say, I mean, I've not had positive experiences with managers and agents. I don't need to pay someone 30% of my income to pick up a phone and say, yes, Nick will do it, right? I don't need that. So It's not that hard to read a contract, and if you can't figure it out, you take it to someone who can, right? You pay them $50 or something for a consultation fee. Can you please tell me, is there anything in this contract that's fucked? But most of the time, I've been fine. In fact, to tell you the truth, half of the time I make my own contracts. So, do I need a manager? Not really. Not really. Look, I will say, if my first manager is watching this, I will say, you were great. You did a good job. You did a good job for the most part, and I was impressed with your professionalism and your assertion, you know. But, fucking hell. Do I need it? Do I need it? It's a question that I certainly have opinions about. Wow, I've missed a ton of comments. Sorry about that. Are you only banned from the US? Yeah, I think I can still get back into Canada. When do you get unbanned? Fuck, I don't know. 2020, 2021. You live, you learn, Nick. Yeah, you do. You live, you learn. You got to be naive in order to get experience. It's the only way to go about things. I have no doubt that after the time is up, you'll be rocking the US again with lots of support. Yeah, I'll be going a bit grey, but I'm sure I'll get there eventually. When are you coming to the UK? I visited the UK a while back. I went to stay with Jeesh and his lovely parents for a while, and Premier Inn costed me a fortune. Whenever you get back from an international trip, you look at your bank statement and have a heart attack. Yeah, so I visited the UK. I really liked it, actually. I thought about moving to Norwich for a while, but then I considered the fact that I don't get any work from Britain, and there's really no objective reason to move there other than the fact I've got a few more friends there than I have in Australia. I'd love to live near people like Riverman and Mr. Simon and Jeesh and oh shit, sorry dude, Evil Man Penguin. Come on, the Brighton guy. What's his name? Oh, this is terrible. Ethan, there he is. I'd love to live near those people. Truth be told, in Perth, I'm actually pretty fucking lonely. We're gonna have a lonely hearts moment. Where'd you get that awesome denim jacket, and how? What, this whole thing? And how did you travel back to the 90s to get it? Which denim jacket? The denim one from the previous one? I think I got that denim jacket from J. Crew, actually. I think denim jackets just, I don't think the fashion ever dies. I love it. Wizard of Mare has been my ringtone. Really? How does that work? For about 2 years or so, and I love sharing your music with others when asked who it is. Cool. Cool, man. Thanks a lot. Kudos to that one. Wishery Alice in particular. Cool. Thanks very much. By the way, Ella from Texas, you've answered like 3 of my questions in a row, which is awesome. Cool. You got it timed. You got it timed down to a T. How big is the place you moved into? It's just a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom sort of townhouse. So it's not big. It's not small. It's. I tell you what, I struck gold. It is perfect for me and my needs. I could take in a girlfriend if I wanted to, but I love living on my own. I love the independence. I love the freedom. I love having no chains, having no balls chained to my feet. It is such a fantastic experience. Do you listen to Breezewax? Not nearly enough. I've heard some of his stuff on SoundCloud and it is rockin'. It's the definition of dream pop, is it not? What do you prefer to do? Why do you prefer to do a California Valley girl voice? What? Huh? My place is always open, and if the stars align, I'm sure we try and get a place, says Joshy Boy. Yeah, I know, man. We were talking about a while ago about actually shacking up a bit. No homo at all, of course. I don't think. And yeah, the idea would be to live in UK for a bit, see how it went. I don't know. The whole concept of moving international just seems kind of crazy to me. You got to get a new bank account, you got to get a new tax account, you got to get a new phone number, a new internet provider. Oh my Christ, the list goes on. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You know, for me, to do it in America, it'd be worth it because my industry is there. But shit, thing in the UK, I don't know. I've got to say though, I do miss you, man, and I do miss Ethan. I miss Valentin Carvalire from Paris. I've got to go visit him again. I've got to do like a Europe trip and just I say these things, but I never fucking do them. Do you watch any anime? If so, which ones are your favorites? I watched Samurai Champloo ages ago. I love Dragon Ball Z as well. My friend Dusty is a huge Dragon Ball Z fanatic. I've got to do a Dragon Ball Z mix with Dusty, actually. I think he'd love it. Do you read creepy pastas? No. I make creepy pastas. You should have seen the carbonara I made the other night. It was fucking shocking. Wizard is on Google Play Store. Bought it, downloaded it, and set it on my phone. Transfer it to any new Android I can get. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. That's the Wizard of Mare thing. Yeah, the black and white thing, which I actually want to use as like a model for the Data and Picard video, which I haven't even started shooting yet. Just got too much to do. What's your favorite Akifin track? Probably Heaven Can Wait. In Dog We Trust is good, and Late Night Munchies is amazing, but you got to have 10 minutes to listen to it. And you have to listen to it because he really went to town on that track. What are your favorite Disney movies? Oh God, I'm not really a Disney movie fan anymore. I'm not going to include Pixar. Disney movies. Oh God. Look, I don't think they've really topped Beauty and the Beast. I don't think they've quite topped Beauty and the Beast. I wasn't a big Lion King fan. I thought it was a bit mushy, a bit naff. I was going to say something else, but the word has different meanings these days. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Nick, when will you stop talking about carbonara? I don't know. I think I might make carbonara again tomorrow, actually. I found a great way to mix in American-style bacon. You know, you have to use streaky bacon most of the time, but I found American-style bacon from a company called Hunza. Oh, man, you guys do the best bacon over there. Holy shit. Love your music, it's great. Thanks very much, Mercedes123. How did you make Wishery in 2007? No, really? I made it in 2007? You're shitting me. Oh, God, that's depressing. That is really fucking depressing. Oh, that song was fucking shit, he says. Yeah, I know. I've come a long way, I hope to think. Do you think you will still get another dog? I'd love to get another dog, yeah. I loved having my Pisenji. I had him for 12 years in my childhood, and then I had to put him down because his whole frontal lobe collapsed. And he was walking through his own feces, and it was bumping into tables that were just so obviously in front of him. Yeah, that was a sad day. That was a sad day. A companion you have for 12 years of your childhood is a companion that comes to mean a hell of a lot to you as a human being. I'll tell you what, that's really tough. That was grueling. That was grueling. And I remember, you know, the doctor gave him the gas or whatever, the serum to start slowing him down. And he starts, you know, slipping around, sliding around, dragging himself around the vet room. And then he starts whimpering a little bit, almost as if he knew the end was coming. Yeah. And then you hold on to him when he goes out. And the next thing you know, you're carrying a corpse out of the front door. It's not an easy experience, I tell you what. It took me a long time to get over that. A long time. Any plans to tour in Middle Europe again? Oh God, Middle Europe. I don't think I've ever toured Middle Europe. I'd love to though, yeah. Absolutely. I think, oh man, Berlin. I've got to play Berlin. Berlin is, apparently got a kickin' deep house scene. The club scene over there is just, well, yeah. I was going to compare it to West Australia, but there's nothing to compare it to. There is no club scene here. Not like, you know, not unless you want to listen to Rihanna and Justin Bieber and, you know, the redneck sort of westernized, most mainstream corner of the market. Way to bring the room down with that question, Laura. Got a bit depressing there for a second. Ashley Tompkinson asks, are you gay? I'm pretty happy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy enough, I think. Do you consider getting a Snapchat? No, I don't. I see no point. What is Snapchat? Isn't that just like Skype, but with tons of different people? Come to Finland. Okay. How much would you say you've spent on music equipment? Oh, God, don't ask me that question, man. That's a huge... oh, my God. I dread to think. I dread to think. You know what? I'd probably have a mortgage going right now if I hadn't spent all the money I've spent on equipment and stuff. But you know what? I love the fact that I'm making music for a living because it means I get to buy awesome stuff that I love using and I can write most of it off on tax. Can you squirt water through your teeth, and if so, how far? Probably can. I've got very gappy front teeth. Very gappy indeed. It loses me a lot of pussy, to be honest. You know, I go to clubs, I try to pick up, I give them a bit of it. I flash the choppers and they sort of get a bit of that reaction. So, I don't know. I've got to get some braces or something. You prend how many times to make music per day? I prend. That's one for the dictionary. How many times you make music per day? Oh God, it's more like how many times per week or month now, mate. It's getting a bit shocking. It's getting a bit shocking. What movie would you like to remix if you could remix it? I don't know. The list has got so long. The plate has got so full. You know what? There's 2 movies I'd love to remix at the moment, tell you the truth. Beast of No Nation, which I've seen has come out on Blu-ray, and Boy, which was that New Zealand movie that came out 2010, I think it was. Those are 2 films I would love to remix, and I've actually written on my smartphone, reminder, get Boy and Beast of No Nation on Blu-ray. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Don't change a thing, Nick. We hate you. Okay. I would think that's incentive to change. What do you consider to be your worst work? Oh, God. Probably that that My Angel thing with John Shan. Not to bag the little guy out or anything. He's got an amazing voice. But, you know, we were trying to make a viral video at the time. And it just fell on its ass, really. It fell on its face and then got up and then fell on its ass. It was just a bomb. It was a total bomb. And even my ex-girlfriend was like, you know, Nick, that's not very good. Yeah, it's not a good thing. That's not a great phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning, I have to say. So then I made the no worries thing. I was much happier with that. It just went to prove to me, you know, make music for the sake of making music. Don't have an agenda to it. Don't put on an agenda. Just make great music to wank off to. You know what I mean? To just get off on. What did you study or are studying? I'm not studying anything, thank Christ. Those dark days are over. I was studying 3D animation at SAE here in Perth. Sorry I'm missing all the questions. I know the comment box is going crazy. Aren't I popular? I studied 3D animation and I studied graphic design, sort of. I don't know. Yeah, I did, kind of. SAE's good, but to be honest, instead of paying 10 grand on this 3D animation course, you can pay more like, what is it, $30, $40 a month on a website like Digital Tutors or Lynda and learn all that shit on your own time in your own home. Yeah, and then you just get like a trial version of Maya, or you torrent it, and you just learn at your own pace without spending a goddamn fortune. Do you feel your clients' work are of inferior quality of what you started making for yourself lately? No, not necessarily. I don't know. I can't lie that a client project starts out as an obligation, not an inspiration. There always comes a point in a client work where you find inspiration, where the client says, hey, we like that. Can we hear more of that? Here's some freedom. Here's a platform to just do whatever you want. And you make something that you actually like and it becomes cool. So that was the case of M&M's. The bite-sized candies thing. When I started making that, I was tearing my hair out thinking to myself, oh my God, please tell me I'm not obligated to put this on my channel, please God. And then I worked on it some more. We got some new lines recorded by Billy West, the voice of the Red M&M, and Ren and Stimpy and Fry from Futurama. And I really started liking it. But I have to be honest, would I remix M&M's on my own time? And yeah, would I do that as a passion project? No. I mean, that's a silly question. You do realize your music and videos are out of this world while on LSD. I wouldn't know that. I do not take LSD. Okay? I don't. Dude, please say fucking good milkshake. Fucking good milkshake. There it is. I can't do the accent though. Fucking good milkshake. You got to do that John Travolta sort of that breathy shit he does. What is your favorite show that you've ever played? I'd say maybe Slim's in San Francisco. There was this one show I played where I managed to get, maybe it was Blackwater Music Festival. I managed to get like a whole half of the audience jumping up and down on the stage, and I was getting so many complaints because people couldn't see the fucking screen. So that was fun though. It was fun. It was great. It was great fun. That was the moment I realized that no one wants to watch a DJ push buttons for a couple of hours. You know, I actually found the less I did live, the better it was in the long run, because it meant I could kind of interact with people, right? I could smile with people, I could get them to do things. I could almost just as well have played an iTunes playlist, and so long as I was getting people to dance and jump up and down, it still would have been a great show. I think that's kind of a reality you come to as a DJ, a VJ. Did your parents have any musical influence on you? Not really. My dad was very rhythmic. I think my dad could have been an amazing jazz drummer, actually. But because his parents were so hard on him and they forced academia down his throat to become a doctor, a radiologist, he just became... He left his photography, he left his darkroom, he left his drumming, his percussion, his music, and he became a doctor. And so, I don't know. I'd say he was an influence. I have my parents to thank for giving me a little desktop tape recorder when I was 2 years old. Without that, I'm not sure I ever would have become interested in music, yeah. Did you quit YouTube, asks Cat Meow. No, I'm on YouTube right now. How do you stream? I use a program called Open Broadcaster software. I was looking at Ustream for a while, and bloody hell, you know, you pay like $100 a month or more, and you pay $200 for the bloody streaming software. And to be honest, I mean, you kind of have a bigger audience on YouTube anyway, and YouTube's free, and you get OBS, which I think is just objectively much better software than Ustream Producer. So get OBS. Get OBS. It's for Mac and Windows. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it. How much work do you actually do as a DJ, or is it just hitting fake buttons? You know, I used to do a lot when I started out. I would bring my whole goddamn PC tower with me, my monitor, my mouse, my keyboard. Then I condensed it down to a laptop. I had a MIDI keyboard. I had a controller. I would do samples live. I would remix things live. Then I made the startling discovery that no one knows what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm busting my ass up there. People are partying, people are dancing, no one's even really paying attention to my table, and I'm thinking, well, why am I risking fucking up like this, doing all of this hard work when no one even knows what I'm doing, and when it's requiring me to pay less attention to the crowd? And when, reason number 3, when I can make a much better set in the studio anyway. You know, I kind of came to the realization that there's way more reasons to not bust your ass on stage and just do it all in the studio. Do a whole bunch of stuff in the studio, you know. So it's difficult. I started out doing everything live, and everything just went wrong all the time. Everything went wrong. And I would shit myself going onto stage because I knew I had so much work to do and there was so much room for error that it was just like, wow, is this how I want to play live? Really? Not really. So I started compacting things down. Now it's just a Machina Mark II, and I trigger clips in Ableton, I remix existing tracks, existing sections, and people have a great time. Most shows I've played lately, there have been a strong smell of cannabis in the air. There's been a lot of people jumping up on each other's shoulders, jumping on stage. It's been a great fun. It's been awesome. I've loved it. Yeah, it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Do you want a family someday? Wife, kids, etc.? I'd love to have a kid. Yeah, I'd love to have a boy one day. I think that'd be great. But right now, at the age of 28, Jesus, I think it's a bit early, don't you? I think it's a bit early. I don't know, though. I'm coming up on my 30s. I'd like to think mid-30s. If I'm not having a kid by then, jeez, maybe it's getting on. Will you do an Overwatch remix? I haven't played Overwatch yet, so probably not. I often vibe to your music while animating. How can I come in contact with you for possible collaboration? Just go to pogomix.net/contact, and there's a contact form there, and I'll get your email in my inbox. Would you ever do a show in Germany or Austria? Oh man, I would definitely do Germany, and probably Austria too. But to be honest, I don't know a damn thing about Austria. They're into like sausages and shit there and clogs and stuff, or is that Holland? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Germany, definitely, because my last name is German. I'm pretty sure. Bertke. I might be a descendant of Hitler. Who knows? Have you tried the Push 2 Live? Simpler integration is amazing. I agree. It doesn't give you all the access to the simpler module, you know, like changing the stretch speed of your sample, for example, which is kind of a big deal. But the push to is amazing. I've actually thought about using it in some live streams and just, you know, getting a grid together of sounds and just see what I can make live. But I will say it is annoying having to make your music so goddamn slowly. Because on a Ableton Push 2 or any hardware controller I've tried, you know, both of the machiners, the first push I tried, it's just a bitch. It's a bitch making a track on 16 pads and a bunch of faders and knobs. I wish it could be great. I really do. I wish it was as fast and powerful as a mouse and keyboard, but the truth is it just isn't. The Push 2 is great for making beats. It's great for making little riffs that take you half an hour to put together. But for songs and things, I just don't think it's there. I don't think it's there yet. How would you like to be remembered after you die? Oh God, not an asshole. Just a guy who was an okay, sort of alright guy who had some questionable opinions on shit. But we'll forgive him. He's alright. He made some pretty gay music. You know, some of it was okay. That's how I'd like to be remembered. That's what I would like on my tombstone. Would you ever do a soundtrack for a game or app? I don't know. I guess so. Sure. What have you got in mind? I'm beginning to learn Ableton. Any tips and what pack samples and stuff? Okay, go to a website called Sample Magic. Sample Magic has fantastic samples on there and loops as well. But I would seriously recommend to you, don't go down the road of making loop music just to begin with. You know, make your own drum beats, make your own melodies, make your own bass lines, make your own chord structures. You'll learn so much more. You'll make so much more of your own stuff. You'll find so much more of your own sound. That would be my advice. The Push 2 is a great controller for the session mode, though, if you already prepared everything. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So is the Akai MPD. So is the Machina Mark II if you get a good MIDI map. Oh, Jesus. It's interesting to have this opportunity to run all these questions by you. It's more honest than I expected, and I like that. So thank you for the openness. My pleasure. Thank you very much for asking. Here lies Nick Burtke. He made some pretty gay music and he wasn't an asshole. There you go. I'd be perfectly down with that. Perfectly down. Have the little space bunny scratched in there, you know. Do you like photography? I don't know. Do I? And have you your own camera for your clip of anything? Wow, that's a pretty awesome language you got going there. I have a Canon 5D Mark II, which I shot a lot of my videos on. Joburg Jam, Kadinchi, Garden. I've since come to loathe DSLR. I hate the footage. I hate the quality of the image. I hate the fact it shoots H.264. I've looked at the Panasonic GH4, but I don't like the color science. And I don't like the ergonomics. I don't like the control. I think if I was going to buy another camera, I'd probably get a Sony FS7. If money was no object, I'd get a Canon C300 Mark II. But whew, that's 20 grand. You know, that's 18 grand. That's, oh my Jesus. That's a camera you rent. That's not a camera you buy. You look like Elon Musk. Okay. I've been told I look like Edward Norton in my previous track. I need to keep a list going. Do you know how to play woodwind instruments or brass? No. Actually, I took some lessons to play the flute. No, the saxophone when I was a kid. The saxophone. Yeah, that was an interesting phase in my life. Bonjour, says Dom Watts. Do you prefer FL or Ableton? I'm more of an Ableton guy. Although Ableton feels more like you're editing a video than making music, I still prefer the fact that it puts everything out there in front of me all the time. FL Studio, everything's kind of boxed in. You're constantly resizing the bloody windows to make way. Everything's kind of tucked away into a piano roll or into an effect slot on the mixer. Look, the piano roll in FL Studio kicks ass. The piano roll in Ableton sucks dick. But the whole canvas thing in Ableton, the way that you can just trim and duplicate waves without having to create a duplicate, sample module for that wave is just fantastic. It is the most flexible, most time-effective way of making music I've ever encountered. Ableton was originally a video editor, I believe, says Joshua Kershaw. I can believe it. I can absolutely believe it. There actually even is a video monitor window in Ableton, I think. I'd like to see them take that further, actually. If they could make it a video editor again, and you can trim and chop and time warp and time stretch your video clips in the way you can your sounds, bloody hell, that'd be all right, wouldn't it? I almost wouldn't even need to use Premiere at that point. Do you master your tracks on your own? It's so crystal clear. Thanks a lot. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I use I use FabFilter Pro Q2. ProSonic is a whole different thing entirely. I used to use Gliss EQ by Voxengo, but Pro Q2 just sounds so good. And it's so, that EQ is so malleable. I've shown you guys Pro Q2 quite a lot in previous streams. Also Voxengo Elephant as well, the limiter that I use. Some of the Valhalla plugins. But yeah, mastering is mostly in, I think, compression and EQing. Most definitely. Much love, Pogo, says Trevor Caswell. Thank you very much, mate. Thanks for tuning in. It would make my day. What would make your day? What would make your day? I missed it. Please help me get to 50 subs. I don't know how you want me to do that. How do you want me to do that? Oh, you want me to like some videos, I suppose. I don't really buy into that whole thing. I get people requesting, like, can you like my video, please? Can you follow me on Twitter? Not to sound like a dickhead, but if you've got great content, I'll like it. If you've got a great Twitter channel, I'll follow it. I don't really give handouts. I don't really believe in doing that. What happened to the little fatty? Oh, yeah, that was a track I made on the Moog synthesizer. What happened to it? Well, it went on SoundCloud and then it kind of just fizzled out because it wasn't really that great. I have not seen the new Jungle Book movie. From what I've seen, it's like 99% CG and like 1% live action, and it's so painfully obvious. Like, I was reading an article raving on and on about how amazing the CG is. It's not actually. It just looks as cartoony as fucking Avatar, in my opinion. Nope, I would prefer to see a live action Jungle Book. Yeah, which I realize is kind of impossible, but hey, there you go. Restrictions of technology. I'm not really into the whole CG movie thing. I like to look at something and see that it's real. That's why I like the first Star Wars movies. The Death Star is real when you look at it. That Yoda is real when you look at it. When your eyes tell you it's real, that's it. You're sold. It's done. You got to check out oh my god, Schnabu. Okay, this guy has amazing skills on the little fatty. Awesome. Schnabubula. Come on, can't you come up with an easier name to pronounce than that? Got here a little late. Did you ever show the project file for Splurgen Shitter already? That would have been an FL Studio project file. Do you mean the audio project file for an FL Studio? Jeez, the mastering in that thing was a disaster. Or do you mean the video project file? I probably have it somewhere. I should add it to my list of things to stream in the future. This was going to be a spontaneous fuck around stream, and it kind of is still, really. What is your opinion on Trump? Oh, there's an interesting one. I don't know. My opinion on Trump. I think he's a bit of a salesman. I think he's a very good salesman. I think he knows how to play the game. I think one of the reasons he gets so many votes is because he is excellent at making a brand out of... Okay, so you got Hateful Hillary, right? Which is a brand that he creates. And you've got, Something Cruz and Something Sanders. He's very good at dethroning his opponents. And he's very good at creating buzzwords. You can tell the guy is just a fantastic salesman. So I look at him and I think, well, he's going to build a wall. He's going to crack down on, multiculturalism going too far. He's going to crack down on all this stuff. He's going to be anti-socialism, which I'm personally kind of in favor of. But at the same time, he's also kind of like, people say he's anti-establishment, but is he? I mean, is he not kind of capitalism embodied? He's an entrepreneur, and in some respects, I love the fact that you've got an outsider running for president. I love that fact. He's not a career politician, he's an entrepreneur. And who is responsible for my job and your job if not entrepreneurs? On the other hand, I don't know. Should we have a businessman as the president of the United States? A salesman? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest with you, I'm not really a huge fan of any of the candidates, to be honest. I think they're all sharks in their own ways. I'd love to see you do something with either Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. I'd love to do Game of Thrones. Yes. Oh my goodness. The gore would be delicious. Any thoughts about Jesus' new track, Star Killer Bass? Oh, sorry, I thought I said Star Bass Killer last time. I wish he got more views, though. He deserves it. Yeah, I did like it. I did tweet it. I hope he does better. It was fantastic. I loved it. I wish it was longer. No, Josh did a fantastic job. The mastering he did on that was fantastic, too. He really outdid himself there, I think. You can tell he spent so much time on it. It's so clear. It's so clear. It's so pronounced. It just goes through so well. Thank you, Pogo, for saving my day. Oh, Christ, if you say so. Opening shipment for work and have you in the background. Cool, man. Thanks a lot. Dude, can you make anything? Musical god you are. Thank you very much. I might make stuff in future streams. I might get a whole bunch of sounds onto a grid on the Ableton Push and just see what happens. I really want to do something with Bloodborne on PS4. I find that you can actually separate the voice from the sound effects and the music in the game mixer. Now, why you would want to do any of that from the point of view of a gamer, I don't know. But from the point of view of remixing and music production, man, bring it on. I really want to sink my teeth into that game. Could I animate one of your tracks? Per your permission, of course. By the way, Wizard of Mare is a wonderful masterpiece. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go for it. As long as you link to the track on SoundCloud or YouTube or whatever it is, I would appreciate the exposure, man. Thanks a lot. If you like drum and bass, listen to Apollo Voyager. It's awesome. I think I've heard that track, actually. Yes. It may have been on RTR-FM recently, actually. Just popping in for a bit, says David Kabish, or Gorudo Piku Piku Karatosu, as they would say in Japan. Are you an existentialist? If so, explain. I don't even know what that means. I've never had to use that word, existentialist. Bloodborne remix would be sick. Yeah, I agree. I think a Bloodborne remix would be fantastic. Would you mind if I sample something I recorded from your, from your Push Fun 005 project? You know what, man? If you credit me for my work, I don't mind, honestly. Just go for it. It's great. How's the filming of your Force Awakens? What? How's the filming of your Force Awakens? Oh, my Force Awakens, review? I think you said remix. I think you meant review. I haven't made a remix of it, just a review, where I say why I don't like it. Goldpig Carrots, love your videos. Yeah, Goldpig Carrots is in the comment channel box. He's made some amazing videos on my tracks in the past. Big shout out to David. How long did your Space Bunny logo take to come up with and design? Well, that is the work of Tim Armstrong, graphic design in San Francisco. I think he's moved to LA. He actually took the nose and eyes of the classic Mickey Mouse emblem and just isolated that and turned it into a space rabbit, which was kind of influenced by a drawing that my first ever girlfriend drew up for me when I went to the office. So that's how that came about. I can't imagine it took him very long, but it's genius. I love what he did with it. I remember very vaguely saying in one of your first live streams that you hated Ableton. Having fun eating your words. I never said I hate Ableton. If anything, I've banged on more about FL Studio, I think. If I ever hated Ableton, geez, I'd be very interested to know what I said about it, because it'd be interesting to know how it's changed. I think it probably is maybe just the workflow of, that is so similar to editing a video, perhaps, that doesn't feel like the most musical workflow you could have. That's the thing about FL Studio, you're not making music with editing and waveforms as much as you are with your ears and dropping down these bars where you're forced to use your ears a bit more. I think that's what I like about FL Studio. Yes. Which video? Hummingbird. I love Bearing, says Jim the Fish TV. I love Bearing as well. He's freaking awesome. He tells shit like it is. Why don't you do some drum and bass? I have a drum and bass mix in the works, actually, which is in one of my previous live streams. You guys can check that out. When is the last time you had a haircut? Oh, too long, man, too long. I hate getting a haircut. You got to sit there for 15 minutes with this stranger who keeps wanting to know about your job and your life, and it's just like, dude, just cut my hair. And of course, you can't say that without sounding like a dick snap. I would love to know what you are working on at the moment. Well, there you go. Check out my live streams, mate, because they're all there. They're all there. Seen the new Star Wars prequel trailer? Yes, I can't say I'm too excited. It just looks like another Force Awakens, to be honest. Are you still into HDRI? Oh, high dynamic range images. No, not really. Not really. No, I think the next time I do one of those Half-Life 2 vids, I want to have a script and some actors, you know, and some props and a story. Even if it's just a 5-minute video. I'd love it to be an actual short film instead of just some stupid visual effects test that goes nowhere. I love Forget, says Ron Don. Thank you very much, Ron. Do you like hard style, says Matt. Oh, God. I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you want to go at it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just really want to go at it. Listen to Aphex Twin. No, I don't. Do you know Uncle Jed? Nope. These are easy questions. Thanks for answering, Nick, says Luke Plays For You. Thanks very much, Luke. Thanks for tuning in. Love that you do live streams. Good to see you back putting content on the medium? On the medium. Oh, yes. Listen to Caliber. That is drum and bass. Caliber. Oh, yes. Yes. I think Dart on RTRFM has played that stuff before. I do not know Uppermost Savant. No. Can you tell us about the making of Half-Life in real life? Well, that's a video where I took a whole bunch of models and characters out of the Half-Life 2 game from what feels like a decade ago now, more than a decade. And I extracted the models out of the game, the soldiers, the guns, etc., some of the characters, and I composited them into live-action shots that I filmed with a Canon 5D Mark II DSLR around Mandurah, which is where I was living at the time in West Australia. And so, yeah, I filmed a whole bunch of like Steadicam stuff with a glide cam, and then I composited these things from Half-Life 2 into the shots to look like they were really there. Had some camera tracking issues. There's a little bit of sliding around here and there, but nothing I can't perfect in future. And so, yeah, I used Maya as the main software program. I used Synthesize by Anderson Tech to camera track, and I used After Effects to do the compositing, which was a nightmare in the end. I think in future I'd love to learn how to use Nuke for that sort of thing. Do you know any of the Bluers? What? The Bluers? No. No, I don't. The Bluers. Bluers. No, I don't think so. Didn't you voice a soldier in War of the Service? How did you get involved with Rob Stoneman and the other? Wow, that was a long time ago. That was back when I was on the Gmod forums, the Gary's Mod forums, which I think are still going, the Face Punch forums. And I was making myself available to do narration work for people just over the internet. So people who were making mods, people who were making games, short films, whatever. I just really wanted to get into narration and into voice acting and things like that. So I brought myself a microphone. I got some acoustic pads from my closet, which turned out to be a terrible idea because when you record sound in such a small space, it sounds awful. But the voice acting work for the War of the Service thing came through Gmod. Yeah, that's right. And that was just a bit of fun. I enjoyed doing it. I actually like to do more of it, to be honest. Have you tried using Buju for 3D camera tracking? Yep, it sucks. It's nowhere near as good as Synthesize. Synthesize blows Buju out of the fucking water. Could you do a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang remix? I did. There was a track that was called Drunk in the Matmobile. The reason I called it that is because I made the track soon after I got over a hangover from driving around drunk in my friend Matt's car for a long time. So that was why it was called Drunk in the Matmobile. It's a bit of a brain fuck when you look at that and think, why did he call that on a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang track? There's too many questions. I had to explain to my friend what a musician is in English, so I just shoved him some of your work. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure that is the best way to go about it. I'd strongly recommend you try listening to Boards of Canada. I've had that recommendation a lot. It's very strange and unique music. Yeah, I've had that suggestion a lot. I need to add that to my search on Spotify list. Because damn, even if it's just for the sake of, you know, getting it over and done with. Can you play piano? Asks Cool Name 13. No, I wish I could. I wish I could. I wish I could play chords and stuff. I wish I could put them together. Yeah, shit, it's just too hard. It's too hard. Will we ever see a release? Oh, I've scrolled too far. Will we ever see a release of the Ingenuity video you devised for your live performances? Shit. That was a video by Homestar Runatron, actually. Sky, who was the fella who released a video of himself dancing in front of the Upula video when it came out years ago. So, yeah, I got him to make that video for me for the Paris show, and it actually turned out really, really well. He put a lot of work into that. He's the sort of guy, he's a perfectionist. You say to him, don't break your ass, don't break your balls, just get it done quickly, you know, get it done, not as easy. He comes back, he's rotoscoped things frame by frame. He has done all sorts of compositing work, and I've said, Jesus, dude, what did I say to you? Simplify it. But you know what? He takes after my own heart, really, because that's a problem I have. I always make too much work for myself, and as much as I like to live by the philosophy, work smarter, not harder, it's a lot easier said than done when, you know, you're proud of your work, right? Would you consider making the soundtrack for an indie game, if anyone asked? Sure, why not? Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Did you watch Eurovision? I did not. Did you like watching piano players? Do I like watching piano players? I tried learning piano for a while, and I just... Oh my God, it's a huge commitment. It's a huge commitment. I think you've either got it or you don't. You know, you got to start that shit from a young age. Don't forget about love in the Matmobile. Yes, slightly different story behind that one. Do you play any instruments? Nah, not really. I actually have an instrument here that I play quite a lot, and I put a lot of time and effort into this. This is called an Apple keyboard. Nick, are you going to be waking up after noon tomorrow? Probably not, mate. No, I'm probably going to be going through till... Well, I got 10 minutes to go till 5. I'm actually getting really hungry again. That burger didn't do it for me. Did you go to school? No. If so, what kind of degree did you get, and did it benefit you in the current career? School never helped me for shit. They wanted to teach me how iguanas give birth. They wanted me to teach me how to divide 12 by 4. They wanted me to teach me how to write Shakespeare. They wanted me to teach me how to play badminton. I looked at all of this and I thought, you know what? I get the whole socializing thing. I get it. I get the whole thing about learning about myself and how to interact with people. But this curriculum is so archaic. It is so from the underbelly of the Industrial Revolution, this whole public school thing. It's a conveyor belt designed to sort kids into English, math, science, or I guess, I don't know, environmental issues. None of that was for me, so I just drew comic books when I was in school. I just drew comic strips, and that's kind of how the whole Pogo name came about. I had this comic strip called Pogos, which was like a spin-off of Pokemon. And so, yeah, no, I did not care about school. I would still send my kids to school because I think that you need to learn about yourself in that sense. You need to learn about how to communicate with people, how to make friends, how to make enemies, how to avoid making enemies. You know, these are things I'm not convinced you learn in a homeschooling environment. Is it hard to make your music? When it's for myself, no, it's a lot of fun. When it's for a client, hell yeah, it can be very, very difficult. As Joshua Kershaw in the comment box will attest to. Josh, I think, had to do an NBA mix recently, where he took a whole bunch of sounds from one of the big coaches of the industry, and he was telling me about how they wanted to cram and crowbar all these samples in. It just didn't work, and I was like, yeah, that's how it goes. What got you into Disney? You know what? It was actually a girlfriend of mine who brought the DVD of Alice in Wonderland home, and I was listening to Akifin at the time, who makes music out of nothing but sounds from his radio tuner and stuff, and I was thinking, you know what, if you did this with nothing but sounds from Alice in Wonderland, this could be kind of interesting. So, yeah, shit. Then I did it with The King and I did it with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. To be honest with you, my mother brought me up on really fruity movies. Mary Poppins, The King and I. fucking Jesus, Beauty and the Beast. How am I not gay? You know what I mean? What got you... Oh, yes, I already done that one. Have you been playing any video games lately? Yep, I've been playing Dark Souls 3. I've been playing Uncharted 4. I want to get addicted to Uncharted 4. I just can't. I've been playing Diablo 3 again recently. I'm getting magnetized back into that pattern. And, oh, yes, Doom. Doom came out recently, too. Yeah. And The Garden. That's a kick-ass track. Thank you very much. Yeah, Garden was fun. Yeah, I would grade that footage very differently today, and I would mix the track very differently. But unfortunately, I've lost all the project files, I've lost all the samples. There is literally no way I can go back to that track at all. It's very depressing. Ever watched the TV show Lost? No. I watched the first episode on Netflix when I first got Netflix, and I was amazed at how good the picture quality was. But it turned out, yeah, it's a long series. I need to really dedicate myself to it, but it looked pretty cool. I need to get into it. What is your hobby? Asks Elijah Babcock. I don't know. I would say it's somewhere between playing games, doing nothing, and trying to make music. Yeah. Can you describe a pogo day? Oh, God. I'll get up at some ungodly hour, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I will make some lunch. I'll make a burger. I will take care of washing. I'm becoming very domesticated. I will, yeah, take care of washing, do some cleaning up, tidy some shit up. I'll check Twitter. I'll check my internet. I'll, yeah, usually when I get up in the morning, I have some fresh ideas, especially for client work. So I'll pop some stuff out. Usually early in the mornings, yeah. But I actually find it's easier to work at night because you've got nothing else to do, right? There's no amazing, glorious, sunlit day outside to go and bask in, so you might as well just work at night. You should upload your project files on some cloud. Yeah, nice try. What kind of books do you enjoy reading? Oh, Jesus, I don't read. I never read. The last time I read anything, it was in jail, because there's literally nothing else to do when you're locked up in a cell. I think I read The Seventh Scroll by Wilbur Smith, which is basically just like that Steve Sommers movie, The Mummy, with Brendan Fraser. It's basically just that film, but in a novel like the width of my head. Do you have any tattoos? No, I don't. I'm not into ink. At least not at this age. Maybe when I get older. Have you watched Dexter? Yeah, I watched the whole series. It was cool. I liked I think it was the 4th season with Jonathan Lithgow playing the villain. He plays an amazing villain. Amazing. Why were you in jail? Asked Ron Don. Because of the whole visa issue. I made cash without a work visa. I went to prison for 3 weeks. One was, I think the first week and a half was in, well, it was around Buffalo somewhere. And then the second week and a half was in some Allegheny County jail where it was just me and 200 Mexicans. What are your favorite video game soundtracks? Well, Croc comes to mind, Spyro comes to mind, Tekken 3 comes to mind. Oh, the first Crash Bandicoot comes to mind. Yeah, there's been some crackers. There's been some real... Well, crackers got a slightly different definition in America. How many years till you got banned? Not banned anymore. I'll get back around 2020 or 2021. Talk to me, says really, really long username. Seen the movie Cloverfield? Yes, I have. I'm not sure what to think about it. I thought they were going to do a sequel to that movie. What happened to that shit? Pogo, you are insanely faggoty. That is all. Thank you very much. Jesus, some people. No, he says I'm very humble. Thank you very much, mate. No, I'm not. I'm not humble at all. Read my blog. Look at some of the stuff I've posted on this channel in the past. I am not a humble motherfucker. I've just become more adept at suppressing my personality. That's a good way of putting it. This is a stretch, but do you have your old Music 2000 disc / memory cards? I do. Yes, I've got the disc. It's in mint condition, and I've got the memory cards with all the project files on them. Yes. I don't know how I'd go about showing it to you on a live stream because, Jesus, you'd have to go through like an RCA converter. And I don't think there's any way. Maybe there's a... you know what? There's probably a really cheap... I bet you there's a really cheap USB PlayStation 1 memory card reader on eBay somewhere that will connect to EPSXE. I bet you anything. I'll bet you anything it can be done. I need to look this up. Love from Russia, says Danya Krylov. Thank you very much, Danya. There is a Cloverfield sequel. It couldn't be very good because it went straight out of my nose. 10 Cloverfield Lane was pretty awesome. Oh, okay. That doesn't even ring a bell. Very different from the first movie. Right. No, I really liked, when I think of Cloverfield, I think of those really long takes. And that makes me think of Children of Men, the Alfonso Cuarón movie, who later went on to do one of the Harry Potter films and later Gravity. And who also did A Little Princess, which I actually remixed. The Gravity director made A Little Princess, which I remixed into Whisperludes. So there you go. He's a hell of a director. I'll tell you what, he does really good work. He works with kids really well. His cinematography, or his cinematographer, is really, really nice. I'll tell you what, the guy has just such a good eye. Don't you need the Music 2000 software? You would emulate the game to show it. I probably would, yeah. I would probably emulate Music 2000. Otherwise, I've got to go and find some overpriced RCA capture card for my Mac or my Windows PC. And then I've got to stream that, and I guess I could do it. But to be honest, if I can emulate it and get some memory cards plugged into the emulator somehow via some kind of USB Hong Kong dongle, I think it'd be easier. Love from Germany, says Julian Whitler. If you're in South Germany, you can sleep over. Oh. Okay. We'll see how it goes. Say hi, Lone Wolf. Hi, Lone Wolf. There you go. Pogo, can you show us some hidden talent you have? Can you juggle? Can you defeat the Huns? The what? The Huns? No. I have no hidden talents. I can do that with my eye. I can do that with my left eye, which for you guys is my right eye. That's what Amanda Bynes can do on, the Amanda Show on Nickelodeon. I don't know how I do it. How many music do you have created yet? Jesus, don't ask me that question, man. I got too many. Ben Story says, Jesus Christ, where do all these fucking spammers come from? I have to agree. I don't know. Noah Samuel says, do you have a life, Nick? No, not really. Not particularly. If I'm not in this house making music and cleaning up and making food for myself and shit, I'm hanging out with buddies of mine, just getting wasted. Actually, I've got friends of mine coming over from Tasmania at the end of June who I haven't seen in years, so we're just going to get annihilated. It's going to be awesome. Pogo, make a song of yourself. Yes, and I shall call it Nazy Throaty Mash. Would you remaster your track? What? Damn. Yeah, I probably would. Why not? Have you ever dealt with a big corporation trying to control your projects? No, I can't say I have. I control my projects. Do you like to do Q&A? Yeah, I guess it's fun. I personally prefer to show you guys through project files, actually. I find this is kind of boring. Actually, I think this is a bit repetitive and a bit humdrum. Will I make more gaming live sessions? Oh, I don't know. Do people really want to see that shit? Is it really that entertaining? Do you have a favorite Broadway soundtrack? Not really. I never got into Broadway. I've never seen West Side Story. I've never seen it. Get More Into Music was a pretty nice song of yourself. Oh, God, if you say so. Do you watch Steven Universe? Nope, what is that shit? What is your favorite BPM? I would say maybe, depends on the project, really. I like 110. 130 is a good dance way to go about it. Where do you listen to music the most? Where? Well, probably in my lounge or just on my phone when I'm out walking, I suppose. Just over Spotify. Spotify's great because you can download tracks so you don't have to use your mobile data. You should game with your fans at some point. It's a good idea. I've actually got my friend Dusty on PS4. We play Dark Souls 3 sometimes, and we're trying to. I want to play Doom with him actually, and I want to get Geesh onto PS4. He's a Nintendo boy, but God willing, I'm going to get him onto PS4 one of these days. PS4 is where it's at. PS4 is where it's at. Do you watch Bob's Burgers? No. Does he make good burgers? Do you often live stream? I've done live streams for like a week now, and it's been quite fun, but I'm really exasperated after all of it, to be honest. The issue is that bad people who can get annoying on what you say on these gaming sessions. Yeah, there's always going to be reactionaries. I don't really hold my tongue when I play games. I like to get into it when I play games, but I do turn into a bit of a dick. And I start saying things I probably shouldn't, so, you know. Carlos Gavin says, Pacific Rim. Is that some kind of porn movie? Why won't my comments send? I can see them. It's just that the comment box is going fast too quickly. Have you played Assassin's Creed? Oh, of course I have. Ask a silly question. Assassin's Creed Unity was crap. Assassin's Creed Black Flag was amazing. I got it to 99%. 99%. I got everything in Black Flag except for those stupid, what are those little trophies you got to find in that Abstergo office or something? Like, who fucking cares? I'm a pirate, goddammit. You might be a good gaming commentator. No, I like making good gaming reviews, though. Gaming reviews are fun. I like that. I like making review videos. I like writing them and making the narration for them. I just hate editing the video. Oh my god, it's a nightmare. Trigglypuff, eh, Nick? That was a fun one during Doom. Yeah, Trigglypuff indeed. If you guys haven't seen that, just go to YouTube and type in Trigglypuff. If you don't know what a social justice warrior is, you will have it defined for you within 10 seconds. Ever played Kingdom Hearts? What are your thoughts on it? I haven't played it. I kind of skipped over the whole PS2 generation, which is really annoying now that I think about it. I went from PlayStation 1 to Nintendo 64, and then, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. I loved the first Xbox. I loved the Xbox 360. I just really don't like what Microsoft's doing with Xbox One. I think they need to take all that media center gumph out and put it into a separate product and make Xbox an awesome gaming machine again. It's not a gaming machine anymore. Now it's like a media center posing as a gaming machine. I don't like that. Guess what I'm saying? I don't know. What does that say? You've got an assassin guy there with a gun and I don't know, and a skull. I don't know. Hieroglyphics was never my forte in school. Your video game reviews are always awesome to watch, man. Thank you very much. Art of Austin Mongler? Really? Mengler, I was just going to say. That's an unfortunate name. That Zoo Tycoon one was hilarious. Thanks very much. Yeah, I like doing those reviews. I really felt Zoo Tycoon was a huge letdown. It was really just like, let's bang this game out as fast as we can to promote the launch of the Xbox One. Doesn't matter if we rip off an old franchise, let's just do it. Are you a fan of Super Mario? I guess so. I never got into those platformers. They're always just way too hard for me. Why did you hide your face online for so long? I don't know. I probably will again in future. These videos probably will go down at some point. I don't know. I go through phases. Do you still buy Blu-rays? Yep, I do. I still buy Blu-rays. Although, I have to say, now that I've got a fiber connection, and now that I've got Netflix, you know, I don't really need to buy Blu-rays anymore. Having said that, I think when I was in a TV shop today, looking at 4K TVs, looking at the new Sony 4K that's just come out, the new HDR 4K. Pretty amazing. When it works properly, the HDR is quite impressive. But my point was that on the shelf they had 4 or 5 4K Blu-ray DVDs. And in Australia, this is still quite rare. You got to pay $600 to get a player. You know, it's just a fucking rip-off. They're robbing people blind while they still can before it becomes the norm. And yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I think you might have to buy those because those are going to be like, what, 120, 150 gigs large? I'm not going to be torrenting that anytime soon. Can you describe your PC configuration? I have a BenQ monitor that does 120 Hz, 1 millisecond. I have a Logitech optical mouse, which is a G400S, which I'm using on my iMac at the moment. If you're going to do any kind of gaming, you've got to get yourself a corded mouse. That wireless stuff is shit. It has the worst lag I've ever experienced in my life. As if the lag in OS X isn't bad enough already. And then I've got a GTX 970 graphics card, although they've just brought out the new GTX 1080, I think, very, very soon, which is looking pretty freaking sweet, if you want to do 4K gaming, that is. Oh, God. Must I keep talking? Do you have a specific streaming time? Usually I do, yes. Just tune into my Twitter. I will inform you guys a couple of days, a day, 24 hours in advance when I'm going to start streaming. I have done that for the past couple of streams, but for this stream, I just wanted to have a quick update and let you guys know why the streams aren't happening more regularly. What country... I don't know what people get out of these things. What country, if you haven't already, would you like to know? Would you like to one day visit? Well, I'm visiting Japan very soon. I'd like to visit Japan. What's another country I'd like to visit? Shit. India, maybe? Although I hear mixed opinions about India. Can you make a comment on my Steam profile, please? I don't know what your Steam profile is. Are you friends with any famous YouTube gamers? No. Although I have to say, a live stream with Jacksepticeye or something would be... That would be something to write home about, probably. Portal is my favorite, says Zaya John. Yeah, Portal was amazing. Portal 2 even more so. I don't know how they managed to wrap their brains around that whole system. I'm heading out. Nick, keep it real, says Josh Korshua. Catch you later. Thanks, Josh. Good to see you again, man. Thanks for tuning in. Always a pleasure. By the way, Nick, thanks for Trillion. It's got the most amazing slapped bass. Yes, I told you. It does, doesn't it? Redid the Forget Me Nots bass line and it sounded... Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah. Trillion is just an amazing VST. Amazing. If you're doing bass lines and stuff, get that Trillion shit. Visit Sweden, says Kevin Rudfelt. I think Nick has now answered all the questions there are to ask about it. Yes, I agree. My sentiments exactly. I know that you can make music, but can you dance? Shit. No. Let's just play it safe. No, I cannot. Will you make a pogo of any YouTubers? Yes, I want to make a pogoism of Ashens. Stuart Ashens, the guy that reviews Tat, or more specifically, really old, cheap Chinese knockoffs of gaming devices and iPhones and iPads and stuff. They're quite funny. I think some kind of jazzy mix of Ashens would go down a treat. I really would like to do something like that. And maybe his friend Guru Larry. Yeah, Guru Larry is quite fun. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Guru Larry here. He'd be good fun. Have you visited Great Britain? Yes, I visited my friend Josh, who's just left us from the comments section, other known as Jeesh on YouTube. He's great fun. And he's incredibly, blindingly talented for his age. Take care, Nick, Mr. Hummingbird says. Thanks very much, Hummingbird. Appreciate you tuning in. Ashens is awesome, says Matt. Been watching them since the first Pop Station review. Yeah, me too. Fantastic. He's hilarious. I'm not... He started doing more commercial stuff with his YouTube channel lately. I'm not a huge fan of that. What is your favorite Disneyland Paris ride? Oh, I don't know. Oh, that space cannon thing. What was that? You got to line up for like half an hour, and then it just ends up being this 30-second roller coaster ride through pitch black. But it's awesome. And then there's like fire this far away from your face. That's fantastic. I want to go to the scariest goddamn theme park. I just want to terrify the shit out of myself, really. I'm well into all that stuff. Anything but bungee jumping, where I actually can potentially die. How old is Jeesh? I think he's early 20s now, very early 20s. I could be wrong. This Q&A looks insanely similar like the first one you did a week ago. I don't want Nick to get bored. Look, man, I don't want you guys to get bored. I guess I will probably be showing you guys through new project files, but also a lot of project files that I've already shown, because the thing is, there's always new people that join the stream, you know. Some people get to miss out. So I will, I think, very quickly run out of stuff to show you, so I'll have to start reaching back into the old pot. Do you like roller coasters? Roller coasters are fucking awesome. Sure. Didn't that new roller coaster movie come out soon? Fuck. Just heard something weird out my window, I think. Roller coasters, sure. Yeah, they brought out that new roller coaster tycoon game recently, which apparently really bombed. It really bombed from what I read. Do what you want, says Hallie Molina. Do what you want. That sounds kind of familiar. That's like a pirate song from that... what's that kids show that had like $3 million budget every episode? Newtown or something like New something. Do you ever get really bad rappers trying to get you to make a beat for them? Not very often, actually, no. But I think if I found a good rapper to do it, I'd definitely love to do it, yeah.
And the questions keep on coming. God damn.
Do you still have the file for the Enya CD skips like this track? I probably do, yes. I should add that to the list of things to show you guys in future. Would it surprise you that we've actually met long ago, back in Atlanta, Georgia, before you got banned? It wouldn't surprise me. I just meet so many people on tour that unfortunately I can't remember faces and I can't remember voices, so, you know. Yeah. Did you enjoy Paris? Paris was interesting. I've noticed people in France don't really like tourists very much, unless you make an effort to speak their language. Because when you go to France, even though most people can speak enough English, they just don't. They just don't. So if you go in there as a touriste, la touristique, and you don't speak French, you get some frowns. You know, you get some big lips, you get some long faces, and you feel like a wanker, really. So yeah, I don't know. Look, I did make the effort to speak French and shit. And I got some smiles from people. They respect it. But I'll be honest, I mean, I hear that the tourism industry in Japan is a lot more respectful, a lot more accommodating, so I don't know. Not to say anything about French people, of course. You know, one of my best friends is Valentin Carvalire, who's from France. And he's great. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
Do more American accents, you asshole.
Have you watched History of Japan? No, I know you keep reminding me to. Please tell me it's on Netflix. That would be nice. Can you sing, Nick? Can you sing the chorus to Spice Girls Wannabe? You couldn't pay me enough money. You couldn't pay me enough money to listen to it. Here's a question. Why aren't you trying to go to sleep? I don't know. We got a roll going. We got a chain going. People are tuning in. They apparently there's some entertainment value here. Have you seen The Revenant? I've seen the first half of it. Very well made. Not sure the story grabs me on any level. Pogo, the PS3 had a USB PS1 memory card reader, but I'm not sure if I can connect to PC. Interesting. Interesting. Speaking of faces, do you remember the genie mask from the Baltimore show you did? The genie mask from the Baltimore... No, I'm sorry, I don't. I really don't. Someone made a Space Bunny. They made 2 Space Bunny helmets out of a bicycle helmet and paper mache, which was amazing. And they put LED lights in there and stuff. That was incredible. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. How long did it take to make Alice? A couple of days. It really is like one of the most basic things I've ever made, and for some reason it went viral. That's really annoying. I'd love to just watch streams of you making new music. I love watching these streams while I'm at work at the studio. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do that. I guess I could do that. I prefer to make a stream where I have things prepared for you guys, and when I know there's not going to be too much fat versus meat. So, it's an idea. If I prepare something to make, maybe, if I have a grid on the Ableton Push 2 with a whole bunch of sounds in place, that's something I'd like to do, sure. History of Japan is a 10-minute YouTube video. Okay. I feel even worse for not having watched it now. 10-minute YouTube. Got to make a note of that. Oh, God. Ever consider a voice acting career on the side? I'd love to. Sure. I'd love to do some voice work. I wanted to. I bought myself a very expensive microphone years ago to get into it, but it just never really took off. Do you want to sell your hair? I need some. Depends what kind of hair we're talking about. Yeah, no, I won't go there. I won't go there. Have you played Banjo-Kazooie? Yes. I first saw Banjo-Kazooie at a friend's house when I was 9 years old, and I was just utterly enamored of the graphics. I thought it was just amazing how good the game looked. You go back to it now, it's like Minecraft. We actually met up at your Paris show. It's so nice seeing you doing live streams. Oh, cool, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, live shows. I've got to do more live shows one of these days. Actually, what I should do is do my Paris show, but over YouTube on a live stream, because no one was bloody well there, and God knows it would be so much easier than editing the live coverage video for it. There's an idea. Have taken a listen to 3:30 by Hudson Mohawk. I still can't find a beat in it. Adult Swim used it, I believe. A beat? 3:30 by Hudson Mohawk. What I should do is just like make Nick watch and listen to shit. stream. And won't answer any questions because it just takes up too much time. I can't do it all at the same time. Was there something that triggered doing these live streams? You know what it was? It was when I got my fiber internet installed. Before I moved, I was in a part of the country where I had the worst internet speed. And I don't know, something inspired me to start streaming games, and I tried it and it was a complete and utter failure. And then I thought, well, you know, if I had better internet, I could actually update people and I could make stuff live and I could go through projects live. But I'm sitting here on 700 kilobits per second. It's shit. I got no speed. It's actually one of the major reasons I moved up into Perth was to get better internet speeds, because obviously my whole career is over the internet. And needing to upload 500, 600, 700 meg videos to clients was very, very difficult on an ADSL 1 connection. So now that I've got the capacity to do it and I can stream in 720, I can stream in 1080 on my PC where I have more power, it's just so much easier to do. I don't know. I hate to say this, but I think it probably is just a phase. I think I will run out of things to do live probably in the next 2 weeks. So I don't know. We'll see how we go. So you actually just moved, basically. Yeah, I moved up to Perth about a month ago. That's right. And I've got a new place now. I'm loving it, man. I'm fucking cooking amazing food. I'm like 10 minutes away from awesome shops. There's like a rental company, a camera rental place, 10 minutes drive away where I can play with all sorts of different cameras and sound equipment and stuff. It's great. I'm so much closer to friends. It's awesome. And living on my own. I love it. I love living on my own. Do you miss New Zealand? Yeah, I do. Oh, got hair in my mouth. Once you get a hair in your mouth, you can... Oh, there it goes. You can never get it out. New Zealand, yeah. I want to travel back to New Zealand. I'd love to go spend 3 weeks in New Zealand with nothing but like a microphone and a really nice camera. And just go to town. Just go to town on like video and sound and just make it like a world remix thing of Maori culture and South Island and that sort of thing. Nick, your stream quality is very good as your new internet is working well. Good video clarity and excellent audio quality of mine. Thanks, man. That's great. Yeah, it's only 720. I've tried 1080, but the CPU and the iMac just doesn't seem like it can cut it. I mean, there's like a 4,000 kilobyte buffer. You know, it should be more than enough, but it's just not. It just starts to hiccup and hiccup and hiccup. So, like I was saying at the start of my stream, I think I want to go back to my PC. I've been back and forth between Mac and PC so many times. The problem is there's just too many things to like about both of them, and too many things to dislike. Do you have another non-music job? I did. I was working as a videographer and documentary filmmaker for City of Perth for a couple of years in Northbridge. There's a huge screen on the corner of James and Lake Street where every Friday night people get bean bags and watch movies out in the public. And so I used to make some of the content that went on that screen. I got to interview all sorts of amazing artists in Perth and film them doing what they do and then editing little featurettes. I loved it. It was great. I just didn't get along with my manager, unfortunately. We didn't see eye to eye in the end. I found that I don't get along with managers very well. I'm very self-directed, I'm very opinionated, and I don't get along. I don't do well being told what to do and how to do things. I just don't do well with it. Yeah, I'm not cut out to work for someone else. Ever go down on the beach in Perth? I don't know. Sex on the beach has never been a positive experience. No. Ever go down to the beach in Perth? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. There's actually a beach. There's Canning Beach, not too far away from where I live, which is actually quite nice. Oh my god. Oh my god, I just missed so many. Sorry, the scroll thing just jumped like 20 lines. Nick, who is that girl behind you? I fucking wish. Yeah, Jesus. You see, because it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's that hour where creepy shit starts to happen, right? You made me look, you really did. The world remixes... Yeah, this is not paranormal activity. The world remixes are my favorites, make me want to travel. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I hope so, yeah. I hope so. When I was traveling in Bhutan and stuff, it was just, it was amazing, like, because you're basically playing World of Warcraft for real. You know, you're hiking up monasteries you're hiking up mountains into monasteries and things, and collecting sounds, collecting shots, collecting things in your bag, you know. It was very, very World of Warcraft. It was awesome. Pogo, do you still ride motorbikes? Yes, I still have my Triumph Street Triple R 675. It's a beautiful little bike, except it's still back south where I left it at my parents' house, so I need to ride it back up here. Didn't you live in Thailand? Oh, God, yes. Didn't you live in Thailand for a while? I lived in the Philippines for 6 months, yes, trying to get a studio up. Not enough space, says Matt Laskowski. Yeah, that was the Perth remix. That was quite fun. Julian Whitler says, got a Hackintosh. It's awesome. Just dual boot and you've got the right performance and so on. A Hackintosh. Oh, okay. Do you mean you're running OS X on a PC, on a otherwise Windows computer that you can upgrade and put graphics cards in there? That's kind of interesting, if that's the case. I haven't even thought about doing that. Will you ever do a sort of Pogo Mixes live full-hour mix? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'd like to take my set from Paris and do it live online. That could be quite interesting. Why stop feeding on your Instagram account? I don't know. I just stopped taking photos for a long time. Just stopped taking photos. It's not the most productive thing I can be doing with my time. Was Splurg and Shitter your first live video? Yeah, I think it was. I rented out a Sony EX1. I think it was an EX1. And I was like, oh my God, I can shoot HD video with a video camera. Oh my God, it's amazing. Look at it, look at it. Yeah. Would you be DTF? What? With Benedict Bloody Cumberbatch? No, I don't know what DTF means. Would it be an idea if you do a stream where you create a new song from a movie game that we voted for? I could certainly give it a go. I wouldn't be able to make a whole track, but I could definitely punch out a riff or two, for sure. Do you like Stromae? What is that? Nick, you legit have a spider on the desk behind you. Yeah. Probably. You know, I wouldn't be surprised because, honestly, I have had spiders. I have had spiders in here before. And actually, there is a pesticide guy coming tomorrow morning. So, yes. There is valid reason for me to look around. You should make a Snapchat. What is a Snapchat? What is that shit? Oh yes, this guy says you never got into Instagram. Found it too hipster. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of people posting their fucking nail polish pictures. Picking you up perfectly here in Massachusetts. Hi to Massachusetts. Thanks for tuning in. DTF means down to fuck. All right. Well, then I got to investigate Benedict Cumberbatch. I hope it's like a girl with a guy's name, you know. Will you do another song with John Shan? I'd love to. I'd love to. Have you seen Hateful White? If you have, what are your thoughts? You mean Hateful 8? No, I haven't seen that yet. I heard it wasn't as good as Django Unchained. I actually was not kidding, not trying to be a troll about the spider. Oh, okay. I think you're bullshitting me, mate. I think you're bullshitting me. That's what I think. I think you're bullshitting me. I will have a look around, though. There probably is, there probably is a fucking spider in here. I just hope it's not a big fucker. Have you listened to any of P. Suss's new stuff? I hear he put out a new album recently, actually, yeah, so I need to check it out. You don't know Stromae? No, I don't. I don't, sorry. Do you still have that SpongeBob work in progress that has Daft Punk's Digital Love in it? What was that? I can't remember what that was. Made him look. Truth be told, I have found quite a few spiders in my house. Do you like and watch anime? I liked Samurai Champloo for a while. That was really good fun. I managed to watch the whole series, which is pretty rare for me in anime. Snapchat is a quick way to upload short videos. It sounds like what are those other ones? No, not Tumblr. What is that one? Vine. It sounds like Vine.
I love how Nick doesn't care about cursing or trying to be clean in front of his fans. I love it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking cunts. Have you stopped working on the Casablanca remixes? I have, yes, the Casawanka remixes, as I call them now. Any thoughts on panning spreaders and images? Spreaders? Jeez, I don't know. I was into a girl once who wanted me to put a spreader on her. I was like, what the hell? Oh, spreaders. Spreaders, like, oh, okay, VSTs. No, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use them. Stereo image is not a huge priority. A stereo, when you have a wide stereo image, it gives the illusion of a clearer mix, right? But it doesn't mean it's actually clearer. Have you played Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS? Yes, I did. It was okay. I'm not a big Wii U fan, though. You know what I mean? Every time I pick it up, I just have to inhale a huge layer of dust because I never play it. Where did you even get the name for Splärenschitter? I don't know. I've got no idea. It just sounds funny. It sounds like a German name for something. It sounds like some kind of Wiener Schnitzel. A Splärenschitter. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean. What made you stop posting on Face Punch? I don't know. I just kind of left the whole Half-Life 2 thing. Half-Life 2 is it's kind of dead now. When did you start your job as electronic music composer? I would say around the time of 2008 is when I started getting commissions from major corporations. Have a good day, Nick. I see you. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Have you seen Syriac videos on YouTube? I have not. What kind of... Oh my god, slow down, guys. What kind of auto-tune do you use? Melodyne? Yes, I use Melodyne, but don't overdo it. Everybody who puts vocals through Melodyne, they flatten the fuck out of it. You know what I mean? And then it sounds auto-tuned. So, yeah, go easy on that shit. The Snapchat gimmick is that the video is temporary, if I'm not mistaken. It is deleted after a certain time. What's the point of that then? Just use Vine. I remember a song you made with your voice a long time ago, and it talked about shoes. It was published on your old stream. Why don't you sing in your stuff? I made a song called Sing Songs, which was a pretty fucking original title, isn't it? And I sang in that. Yes, and I had to tune the hell out of that. And then that's when I realized I'll never sing again. Hi, Nick. I remember a song you made with your voice. Oh, God. It's just scroll to the bottom again. I'm sorry. A long time ago, and it talked about... Oh, I just read that. Okay, never mind. What's the longest your hair has ever been? I went through a hipster phase when I was 18. Yeah, I got it pretty long. And the girlfriend I had at the time was adamant in straightening it for some reason. The feminization of modern masculinity. Nick, what do you hope to accomplish in the next 10 years? Where do you see yourself? Jesus. You know, truth be told, I'd love to make films. I'd love to get someone who's really good at writing screenplays, get something going with the Half-Life universe, because I can do all the visual effects stuff and the cinematography. I'm just a terrible, terrible screenwriter. I'm so shit at coming up with original concepts for stories. So I need a good screenwriter, and I'd love to just make short films. I'd love to make movies. The problem I find with filmmaking is it's not so much an artistic process as it is an entrepreneurial process. You spend so much time people managing and micromanaging and time managing that eventually it's like, oh God, when does the filmmaking filmmaking part of it come? So yeah, I'd love to do filmmaking, but I'm not sure I have the entrepreneurial backbone for it. That's the problem. I guess I need a producer and a screenwriter, at which point it's like, well, should I really be doing it? Hi, Nick. What do you hope to accomplish? Oh, sorry, answer that one. What do you ever want? Would you ever want to direct a 3D animation? Not really. I'm more into shooting and live action stuff. Honestly, I think 3D animation is just saturated as fuck. You should watch the Warcraft movie. Yes, I was actually invited to see a preview of it by Universal Australia not too long ago. That would be quite fun. Do you wait for the next Battlefield? I think everything Battlefield can do has done it already. You should make your friends use the slow-ass internet you had to deal with for a while and make a song out of their frustration. That's a very creative idea for a project. Who were the best people to work with in regards to commission? Disney, probably. The Disney commission was Apulair and Toys Noise and Swashbuckle and Ariel, which you guys never got to see, unfortunately, because they didn't want anything to do with it, despite the fact they paid me. It's their money, I guess. But they were great, apart from the fact they didn't release most of my shit. They were great because they didn't swarm me with feedback. In fact, they didn't send me any feedback at all. It was literally just like, that's good, okay, upload that. So it was good. I enjoyed that. Do you should make you oh yes, read that one. I can scroll down now. Yay. Do you listen to Daft Punk? I don't really. No, I'm not really the biggest fan. A big hi from France and Korea. Me and my boyfriend is Skyping watching you at the same time. Why? Snapchat is mainly just for updating people on your life quickly, and when you feel like it, you can save the video or picture of yourself. Right, so it's kind of a narcissistic corner, says the guy live streaming. Can you see yourself working for Pixar? I can see you working for Pixar, I don't know why. You know, it was really interesting. I got really emotional when I got back from my Pixar trip, because when I walked through the Pixar campus, I saw so many drawings lining the walls of the upstairs part of the the Pixar what do you call it? The Pixar campus, whatever. And I saw so many sketches that were in the same style that I drew comics when I was in school. And when I got back to Australia, I got really emotional because I was like, you know, I just got back from a place where I, for the first time in my life, felt like I could actually belong somewhere. You know, where there were people doing things that I wanted to do when I was in school every year of my childhood, right? To the extent where there were sketches in Pixar that looked like sketches I did when I was a kid. Not that I was anywhere near as good an artist, but it took me back to my childhood drawing in school, and here I was at Pixar, and I was like, oh my God, I need to move there. And you know what? I should have done it. I should have done it while I still could. That's probably one of my biggest regrets, is not moving to the States sooner. And yeah, getting a handle on the whole work visa situation. What is the most dangerous animal you have found in or around your house? What? Oh, probably a kangaroo. Yeah, probably a full-size male adult kangaroo. Ball sack and everything. Not kidding. Usually that's something I'd try to be funny about, but no, it was dead serious. I had to chase him out of the... not this house, no, because I'm up in the suburbs now. I'm talking about back down south, where we were way out in the country. Yeah, that was pretty scary. Those motherfuckers will knock your lights out and break the front of your car as well, like mine right after I bought the damn thing. Are you still on good terms with Gary Pickford? I'm on good enough terms. I just don't catch up with the guy. I wasn't... yeah, I don't know. I won't say anything about him on the stream. Hey Nick, have you ever seen any Martin Scorsese movies? Yeah, I've seen almost all of them, including Taxi Driver, which is probably my favourite. See you later, Nick. Your question and answer made my shitty day 100 times better. Thanks, yeah, Coffee. I don't know why, but thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you don't eat shit later on. Take care. I probably will. I eat shit all the time. Not literally. What does your dad do for a living? Ever think about remixing him? Yeah, I've thought about remixing my dad. He's actually a radiologist, but he is really into 4x4s and tweaking them, modding them, and camping and trailers and stuff. So I think I'd probably make like a garden-style video out of my dad doing that sort of thing. Do I still draw? No, I don't. I don't still draw. That's a hobby that I think I had squeezed out of me in school. I got into a lot of trouble not doing my schoolwork in school and drawing all the time. So eventually I just stopped. Nowadays, when I sit down to draw something, I'm so goddamn critical of myself that I just never draw for more than 20 seconds. Yeah, so... What are your thoughts on aliens, as in life beyond this planet? I think people are kind of stupid when they see lights in the sky and think it's an alien civilization. I mean, it's no more reason to think that your presents under your tree were a result of Santa Claus. You know what I mean? It's the same ridiculous conclusion jumping. But I also don't think that there's no aliens out there. I just subscribe to the idea that I don't have the information necessary. I don't know if there's a god. I don't know if there's extraterrestrial life out there, so I can't say if there is or there isn't. So therefore, I guess I don't identify as an atheist or a religious person. I'm not on either side, because how can you possibly think you have the information necessary on this minuscule little ball in this minuscule quadrant of this minuscule galaxy in the universe? You know what I mean? You just don't have the information. So it's something that I dream about a lot. I would love... I have had so many dreams about waking up at night and for some reason there's like no ozone layer, there's no atmosphere, and I can see planets and I can see galaxies, and I've had dreams about like being on other planets and walking around them. Oh my god, yeah. And I don't know, it's interesting. I think it's interesting because we are kind of products of stars in a literal sense is what we are. So it's kind of cool how we go about dreaming about it. Do you have the same critical vision about your music? Yes, and it gets worse. You become more and more hypercritical of your work as it garners more and more of a following, which is kind of a big deal. It's a big problem. Ever watch Flight of the Conchords? Yeah, absolutely. That was a fantastic series. I have the box set on DVD. Those guys are awesome. Those Kiwis. Skeptical. I don't even know if I'd say I'm skeptical. I'd just say it's just I don't know. I wouldn't say there are or there aren't aliens out there. If anything, I'd say it would be incredible if there wasn't, when you consider how massive the universe is. But truthfully, we just don't know, and I don't know. I think it's incredibly. It's a bit like No Man's Sky, which is coming out on PS4. I don't think it's likely we ever will know, just because of how goddamn huge the universe is. What do you do in your daily life other than composing music? Do you work a bit in separate field? Do you ride motorcycles? I ride a motorbike sometimes, but I need to get my motorbike up to my new house. So I'm having motorbike withdrawal syndrome. I've got my motorbike helmet and my jacket in my closet sitting there calling to me. Yeah, I love motorbike riding. It's great. There's no experience quite like it. And the Triumph bikes are just, they handle telepathically. The Street Triple, it handles telepathically. It is amazing. I had a Kawasaki Ninja 250 before, and I had a Honda Shadow 750, which was this big old bloody fat-ass tank of a cruiser, which I just didn't like in the end. No, the Street Triple R from Triumph, you've got to try one. Even just take one out for 10 minutes from a dealer. Oh man, you'll have the time of your life. Have Sega ever come to you to make a Sonic Boom or Sonic remix? That'd be awesome. I'd love to do something with Sonic the Hedgehog. I kind of grew up on Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog was the first game I ever played in my own house as a child. And I was so ecstatic. My parents were like, okay, Nick and Steve, my brother Steve, go behind the couch. And there we find this controller. And they say, look behind the fireplace, and there's another controller. Look behind the other chair. There's Sega on the cartridge, and me and my brother are just losing our shit. Oh man, getting a Sega back then was a big deal. That was a big deal. That was a journal entry in your life's memoirs. You should do more game reviews. I agree. I actually have finished writing a review for Star Wars Battlefront and also for the entire Halo series. And I've also finished writing a review for the Force Awakens movie. But editing the videos for these things is just a goddamn nightmare. Like the Syndicate thing took me a week just of capturing clips. You know, it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. It's such a mechanical process. A friend told me that kangaroos are really common in Australia. Yes, oh, absolutely. Where I used to live, we'd get kangaroos in our front lawn almost nightly. Yeah, which got a bit scary on the odd occasion. What if we are the aliens? Yeah, well, exactly. Like, what if... Yeah, exactly. What if, you know, in the future, the human race has figured time travel out and sent us back, and that's where we are at the moment? Who knows? It's just... Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't see much point in philosophizing about stuff like that. I had a girlfriend once who was massively into it, and I just ended up sitting there like... Yeah, that's interesting. Have you experienced lucid dreaming? I feel like you would have interesting dreams. No, I don't think so. What the hell is that? Hey Nick, I've been enjoying your music for a long time now, says Muga Nyasha. And I never get bored of it. It's just a fantastic thing to listen to all that chaos that has been ordered to create something magical. Thank you very much. I'm glad you feel that way about it. Richard Feynman being the favorite scientist in person, are you planning any projects that are connected to science? Something like Melody Sheep, if you know him. Yeah, Melody Sheep did a remix of something science on BBC. I'd like to do something like that. Yeah, something science related. Absolutely. I think that the defining point in my life will be making a world remix of the moon. Just take a camera up there, a microphone, and just... Well, yeah, what the hell are you going to record, right? What are you going to shoot? Maybe it's like the stupidest idea I've ever come with. Would you ever consider making a walking... Oh, sorry, that stupid scroll thing again. Like the game series. I haven't experienced any of the Walking Dead franchise, so I can't really comment. Why are you banned from the US? Because I went on tour there without the right work visa. And so I spent 3 weeks in prison with a bunch of Mexicans and a creepy guy trying to get me to rewrite his letter to his lawyer. And I was like, no, man, I'm in enough trouble as it is. I'm not about to get taken down for false representation. Just leave me alone. So Yeah, can't get back till 2021 or so. How do you befriend the kangaroo? Well, you don't kick him in the balls. We get turkeys on our lawn. That's cool. Turkeys. Jesus, that's definitely not a suburban animal over here. What would you be doing with your life if the whole pogo thing didn't work out? I don't know. I'd probably be in 3D animation, probably. Probably character animation, visual effects. Probably visual effects work, yeah. I am ready to make montage. I am ready to make montage, says Julian Grael. Have you tried kangaroo meat? I have. It's pretty much just chicken. I've tried alligator meat as well. It's the same thing. I'm not really a big beef guy. I'm more of a chicken guy. I think I prefer a chicken burger. I wish you the best of luck and more success in whatever you do, says Tyra Kangro. I absolutely love your music and the videos that come with it. Thanks very much. I actually listen to your music on my daily commute. Wow, thanks a lot, man. I hope it helps out. Seen ASMR vids? Yeah, I have. I have seen ASMR. I don't get it. It's a bit hipster. It's a bit hipster, yeah. Richard Dreyfuss, yes. The guy from Close Encounters and Jaws. And what else? He did something else. Yeah, he made that movie, Richard Dreyfuss. Are you planning to do a tour in Europe? Would love to see you here in the Netherlands. Netherlands. As jou in Netherlands. Yeah, I would love to play Netherlands, actually. I've got to get back to my homeland. I'm kind of Dutch, really. My mother was born in Holland, and my dad, well, I'm pretty sure Bertke is German, I'm quite sure. Oh, my goodness. 3 weeks, yes, that's how long I was in jail. 2 different jails. Ever think about a collab with Melody Sheep? Yeah, maybe. We definitely go about things in different ways. What inspired you to make sound remixes of movies? I think it was Alice in Wonderland, really. Just the success I had with it. No, I don't know. I have very fond memories of sampling Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Oliver as well, because there were so many sounds, and the orchestra in those old films just has this amazing timbre character to it. And I just love the concept of making riffs and patterns and chord structures and melodies and percussion out of nothing but sounds from that film. For me, it was a way to kind of explore a film in a unique way, you know, to get to know it from the inside out, to just like freeze a moment in time in a beautiful scene and just stretch it out, you know, sonically into like a riff. It was just a way to get inside the film that way, and I think I've always enjoyed it. I think lately it's becoming a little bit more of a to-do, you know, it's becoming a bit more of a tried and true routine. But yeah, I guess if I don't think too much about the whole Pogo thing and the social media thing, I guess I can still kind of enjoy it. How do you create or get inspiration for the chords in your songs? I listen to a lot of Spotify. I go through a lot of Spotify tracks and I take note of the chord changes that I like. And I listen to chord progressions I like, and then I play them, and then I go into Ableton or FL and I try to make similar chord progressions. It's the best way to do it. That's actually... that's how John Kricvalewski, the inventor of Ren and Stimpy, says that you get good at drawing. Is you just try to copy the greats. You know, you watch Hanna-Barbera, and you just try to draw Fred Flintstone and Yogi the Bear. You try to do as they do over and over, and eventually you learn the craft and you learn how to create your own work through it. So yeah. Once you're done with the stream, you really need to send the Winnie the Pooh backup to Google Drive. I've already made 2 versions of it, which are unlisted using audio from last stream. Yeah, mate, I need to get onto that. Sorry about the delay. It's just, there's so much to do. Tomorrow morning, I've got a big deadline that I've got to make. Pooh backup to Nico. Did you see Anomalisa? Nope. What is that? You should never make the... What? You should never make the N at the end of a word resonate if there's no E after it in French. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't know the first thing. Yeah, no, that's right. I think that's a different accent entirely. What had you in mind when doing songs like Ode for Lovers? Nothing. I just started throwing SpongeBob samples around an FL Studio, and then I made a bass line and then a drum loop, and then it kind of just stretched out. I found some vocoder samples from this 1940s vinyl that my dad listened to when he was a kid, a Noddy vinyl. I couldn't believe there were vocoders back then, but there it was on those vinyl, and it sounded amazing. So that's how Ode for Lovers came about. Would you come to Norway? More specific, northern Norway. More specific, Bodo. Okay, I've got to learn that language. Sure, why not? If there's an opportunity. Sometimes you pronounce words like we do in Czech Republic. Okay, that's interesting. I just pull shit out of my ass with accents, really. Hey Pogo, Tony from LA, sending you good vibes. Listen to your jams every morning on my way to work. Cool, man. Thanks very much. That's really cool. Would you do any more Pogo mixes of YouTubers? YouTube. I probably do Stuart Ashens. Yeah, I do a remix of Stuart Ashens for sure. Maybe Jacksepticeye. Oi, Jacksepticeye. Top of the morning to you. The first time I watched Living Island, it sent shit down my spine. You see, usually I'd think shit would go down your leg into your shoe, but this is, maybe you went to a jungle gym. It was an incredible experience. Well, that's cool, man. That's a very unique way to discover my music. No, I know what you said. Hey, Nick, it's the end of the workday for me now. Time to get home. Thanks for keeping something. Oh, damn, this window just says, like, I'm going to scroll to the bottom now. I recently found... here we go. My question is, what are your thoughts on Wizard of Mer? Well, I want to basically use the Wizard of Mer model for Data and Picard, which is going to be my Star Trek remix, which is up on SoundCloud already, called uncreatively Data and Picard. And, yeah, I think I liked the way Wizard of Mer came out. I had a lot of fun lighting it with torches and handycam flashlights and desk lamps and stuff. It was great fun, but I would shoot it on a better camera this time. I'd shoot it in 4K. I'd upload it in 4K, because grading H.264 footage that comes off a DSLR is a bitch. It's a hell of a job. That H.264 shit falls apart instantly. It falls apart like spaghetti. You want to be shooting, 10-bit 422 ProRes, like on a Blackmagic 4K or an Arri Mini or something like that. Benjo says, I've been listening to your music all day today. Thank you for making such good grooves. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. But I find a lot more of your work on Google Play Music compared to Spotify. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't think I submit much stuff to Spotify, actually. Samurai Jack. Yeah, I might do Samurai Jack. I actually really enjoyed that show. It was a really high-quality cartoon back in the day, Cartoon Network. It was really high budget on that show. What do you think of Kuto Man? What is that? I don't know what that is. Kuto. Isn't a kuto an instrument? Or a car? I'm thinking of a koto. Kuterman. Oh, no, I don't think I've heard him before. Okay, my eyeballs are very gradually shutting themselves. Nick, let me just say your mixes are the greatest sounds and synths I've ever had the pleasure of hearing. Oh, the flattery. Oh, my ego. It inflates thus. No, thank you very much, man. Keep doing you and what you love. Much respect. I appreciate that, Reggie. Thank you very much. What do you think about your new In My Chair Milky Mix track? I like it. I think it needs to be fleshed out with some more vocals. It's a bit ambient at the moment. It's a bit instrumental. You know what I mean? It's a bit boring. What do you think of making a Clockwork Orange remix? Oh my god. Yes, I would. With the tits and everything. No. Yeah, I probably would make a thingy. I'd make a remix out of nothing but the sound of him cutting that poor lady's nipple holes open. Yeah. Now, that was a very interesting movie. That must have shocked people shitless in the cinemas. That must have been like Passion of the Christ for the 70s. Jeez, yeah. That's a pretty awesome idea, actually. I should definitely be down with that. What do you think of making a... yeah. Do you listen to Underworld, Born Slippy, Dark Train, and other tunes? Do you like the genre? No, I like dark sort of techno stuff. I remember coming back from a titty bar way late one night with my friend Matt, and we had this dark techno stuff playing on the drive home. I have fond memories of that dark techno. It's just, it's great. It's great. You get, some techno is just really shitty, but other techno is actually pretty awesome. I could easily get into it. Oh my god. I've never watched Star Trek, but there it goes again. It's gone. Have you still... Yeah, I'm sorry guys, there's just too many comments here for me to answer. Have you still close relationship with Geesh or Dynamo? Yeah, I Skype with him quite regularly. Go to bed, says Dissolving Time. Yeah, go to sleep. I agree. I'm getting pretty fucked, man. I'm getting pretty fucked. Thanks for answering my questions. Isn't it 6 in the morning where you live? Yeah, pretty much. 10 to 6. I will come back. I will do more live streams. I'm going to close the comment window there now, guys. I'm very sorry. I have to draw the line in the sand at some point. I just want to say thanks very much for tuning in. I hope to do more live streams in the future. The idea is to get up some more project files for you guys of stuff I'm working on right now and stuff that I've produced in the past for your interest, for your delectation, or whatever that word is. So yeah, I hope that's going to work out. I would like to keep doing these things. I'm actually really, really sold on that idea of doing a live mix, a live set for a couple of hours on this channel using my rig. I think that'd be quite fun. Using my rig, using my hardware controller, not my well, I won't go down that road. So thanks very much for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. More streams will be coming in future. Just stick out. Just tune into twitter.com/NICKBERTKE. Basically, it's twitter.com/Nick Berkey. And I'll let you guys know well in advance when there'll be more streams coming up in future. Thanks, folks. Have a good night, or have a good morning, or a good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. Peace out, and till next time.